is high. Okay. Before I begin and introduce you to the agenda, where I have to recap what happened yesterday, I'll take a quick tour again to introduce the resource speaker, which I had done yesterday. But to begin a new day with a new introduction, I'll share my screen and show you the resource speakers. And we'll follow the same routine for the resource speakers. That is, one by one, they'll tell what they'll do. Well, that's me. Yesterday, I got a couple of very good, of course, a lot of good messages. And at least there were two people who were very curious to ask me, is MTG my profession? No, sir. My profession is this, which gets me bread and butter. MTG is my passion. Dr. Surendra, please tell what you are going to do today.
Good morning, everyone. I will have the privilege and pleasure of sharing with you some basic features of something which is called as the pen tablet, which is a magic small equipment today, which is making lots of interesting developments into the online training in particular. Many of you Gurujans must be already using it, but those who are not, I'll be able to give you a brief insight into it. And at the same time, I've been asked that you make a live demo. So I'll be happy to give you a live demo after some time. Thank you and welcome everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Surendra. Captain Sandeep Shivangi.
Good morning, everybody, once again, and nice bright day again. Nice to see all of you back for the second day. And I would be recapping more or less on what has been done and what is required for any MTI to set up their school and get it going in a very good fashion. And also, the proof of the pudding lies in the eating. So I would also be like Dr. Surinder giving a demo that this is how not only do we tell you how to teach, but also this is how I teach. So something on those lines, and then I'll take you through the a little bit of what we would be doing in the advanced course on day 3 and 4 after we finish with day 2.
Thank you, Captain Shivangi. Over to you, Captain Viraf Chishgar.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sparing time on a Sunday up so early. I'll be having a very brief session of talking about the features of Microsoft Teams and how it can help you run an online school or an online class. Just a tip of the iceberg session. Thank you.
Thank you, Viraf. Mr. Pradeep Kumar is a senior chief engineer. For some reason, I don't know whether he has still joined or not. He was having some problem at home. But he is one of the jewels of MTG, always ready to contribute, bundle of knowledge, bundle of energy. And I welcome him with folded hands. Thank you, Mr. Pradeep Kumar.
He's not
Captain, sorry, Anand, you said something?
Yeah, Mr. Pradeep Kumar is not here.
Yes, he was not well.
Yeah.
Captain Kumar Haldorai.
Good morning, everyone. And I've already done my presentation yesterday. I think you must all have enjoyed the presentation. And for today, we have the other presenters. So I'll be joining you all towards the end for doing your feedback and getting your assessment done and giving you all the certificates. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Kumar. Mr. Saurabh Girdhar.
Yeah, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are having a great Sunday. Well, yesterday I had presented about the Google Suits, and today I'll be at the backdrop helping the other speakers as I don't have any sessions today. I request it will be Then at the end, I'll be helping with the test and all. So that is what I'll be doing today. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh. And Saurabh, please tell what you'll do in the advanced course.
So in the advanced course, that is in the third day, we will be going deep inside the G Suites, where I'll be helping you out with how to prepare the Google Forms, how to go about with giving the assignments, how to go about taking the test on multiple choice questions to on the students, and how to again give the assignment and get the feedback and get the assignments done from the students, uploaded from their computer or from their laptop or from the mobile onto the system, onto the email, and then downloading them and checking them. This is what will be done in the advanced session. That is on the third day. That is after this when we will be doing it.
Very well. Uh, that is our resource speakers. And I request the audience to give them a big round of applause by your reactions to motivate them.
So the poll is ready if you want.
Okay.
You can post it, Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute. Let me get some applause from the audience. This is to check also whether you are aware of giving reactions. It is not just for applause, but I'm checking all the features and making you experience all the features hands-on on the speakers of Zoom, on the features of Zoom. So I still get only about 20% people giving applause. Please participate in giving applause. Give your reaction. Great. Some more have come. Tech team, poll please. Another feature of Zoom, polling. Okay, generally we hold the poll only for 1 minute. It's already 40 seconds, 20 more seconds, and then we show you the result. Tech team result, please. Wow, Josh is high. Everybody is excited. Awesome, great. Okay, over to the agenda for today. Okay, I hope all of you can see day 2. The first one is recap and queries. Then comes demo live presentation on dynamic positioning vessels with XP Pen. Then is MS Teams and its features. Break, then overview of demo and live presentation on risk assessment on Zoom. So coming to the first one, recap and queries. This is what we did yesterday. Yesterday, I started with the introduction of digital learning, e-learning, and told you about 4 C's of Tech Teach. That is collaboration, creativity, curation, and community, and gave you examples of some of the features, which I'll be explaining further, these features of collaboration, creativity, curation, and community in the advanced course. Then was the keynote address by Captain Subramaniam. Captain Subramaniam, you are there today? Tech team, is he there? Captain Subramaniam, can you just give thumbs up or raise your hands?
Yeah, he's around.
Okay, great. Then we went to a generic sort of thing where we told about, okay, in overview, I forgot one thing. Most important was that I introduced you to DGS circular, which mandates us to do this kind of training for trainers. That was clause 11.1 of DGS Training Circular 19 of 2020. Then I also told you that this requirement of STCW for training and assessment comes from part A, which is a mandatory part, 1/6. And then there is the guideline part of STCW, which is part B, which gives the guideline how to do this e-learning or virtual class and do the assessment through remote means or digital means, which is part B 1/6. So if anybody who has done this STCW course or which is in AECS or have learned about STCW, you will know that STCW has contents in part A and part B. Part B is just the guidelines. Part A is the mandatory. And there are so many other things in STCW which we'll pick up in another course. Okay. Then we had a beautiful, lovely presentation by Mr. Captain Kumar Haldorai about the netiquettes and how to engage students, wherein he gave very good examples. And I do remember something pictorial, which is a good way of teaching, that a teacher should be one like an elephant where the bell rings before he comes. So the students should be loving the teacher and they should wait for the teacher to come in as soon as the class is announced. That should be one of the netiquettes as far as the teacher is concerned. And of course, the details of netiquettes were told by Captain Kumar yesterday. Then we came to a very, very exciting period or exciting deliberation wherein Mr. Saurabh Girdhar told us about G Suite. Lot of new things were told. I was excited to learn so many things. And even after finishing the course, we were sitting with him in the night from 6 to 9 and learning more from him. So that was very exciting. And we gave some honest feedback and he included them for the advanced course. Thank you, Saurabh. Finally, our guest of honor, who I rightly said is energetic like a panther and observant like a hawk, was there answering all your questions. Is Wankhede Saab there today?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, he will join in. He told me he'll join in. Oh, that was day one, which ended with a test. The test, because of some technical glitch, could not be accessed on the chat by everyone. So all those who approached me, because in the branding we had written RSVP where my WhatsApp number as well as my email ID was given. So all those who approached me, I gave them the link. And wherever I could think in a group, WhatsApp group, where the link could be sent, I've sent the link. However, the good news is, because it was an error from our side, the certification will be based on today's test, not yesterday's test. So no sweats, don't worry. If you have not been able to complete yesterday's test, do it today. With this, I will hand over the further proceedings of the day and the next speaker of today, Dr. Surendra Kumar.
Thank you, Captain Prabhat, for the wonderful recap of yesterday and introduction to today's activity. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are here to discuss about a very interesting tool for distance learning. Rather, it is not something meant for distance learning. It has been in use for quite some time, but the change scenario here around us made it so important that yes, you can't do away with it as a e-trainer or a e-learner. Both both of you are going to find it interesting. I have divided this into two parts, though the timing is not really enough for these kind of discussions. And on top of that, I've been also asked to add a live demo with the subject which I teach, and that is dynamic positioning. I will try to do justice with that for the few slides. But the first part of it, I would like to introduce you to this device called a pen tablet. Many of you must have seen it. And for that, I'll be using PowerPoint. Give me a minute to start my PowerPoint.
While you are starting the PowerPoint, I see some of them from Nigeria writing that you had said that you will be introducing Sir Charles. So is he there today? If he is there, then
I forgot to share that information with others. I just had a chat with Sir Charles, Dr. Charles. Dr. Charles had an accident at his home. This morning, there was a fire at his residence. Everyone is safe, and we pray for their safety further, and he is not able to join because of that. He has conveyed the message that he will do it someday next, whenever next MTG program, he'll be happy to come and join us.
thank you.
Captain Prabhat, can you see my slides online?
Yes, we can see the slides, but it should, press that.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Well, that's what I'm going to do for the next 15, 20 minutes. Talk about this device called, it's known by different names. Based upon who is the manufacturer, based upon what are you using it for. Some people call it XP Pen because it's made by a company who named it as XP Pen. Some people call it a scratch board or scratch pad, writing pad, or a pen tablet, because the tablet comes along with the pen, the magic pen. Before I go there, let me introduce you to the past. And I'm sure all of us as a student and many of us as a teacher must have used the device on the left-hand side here. Do you remember that? That's the blackboard. And of course, the chalk, and there are senior teachers and educationists who love doing that. Let me tell you a small incident when I was working for Bibi, a very senior faculty, retired, very, very senior faculty, I must say. He showed his interest to visit us, and I showed him around wonderful simulators and like these labs and all kind of workshops, and he was impressed. He was very happy. Then I took him one of the room which was going on ongoing classes, and I showed him the instructor teaching some concepts using whiteboard, and on the side of that there was also a blackboard. Those days, uh, this senior faculty couldn't resist, and he said, "Wow, you also have this blackboard. This is what I've been using it all through the ages." And to our surprise, he took a 15 minutes prompt lecture and made the students aware of what he knew about the subject. So that is the kind of uh, connectivity of the senior faculty members with this Blackboard device, which we are not using it at the moment. Many of us, we must have used as a faculty or as an instructor the whiteboard, of course. But before we came to whiteboard, we have also gone through certain stages. And as very rightly our big guru, Captain Harry, yesterday mentioned about how we used to make transparencies, and we were using something called overhead projector. A big device in the past, which we have been using it as a teaching aid. This was very soon replaced by a device, which is your projector. We also call it overhead projector because it can be fitted overhead. So these are just the same name, but technology is different. Of course, this was light and this was light as well, but there's lots of difference between. This is more intelligent device. Not staying here, we went on further, and these devices were replaced by big displays and smart displays, wherein you could connect, the instructor could connect various inputs, and the class can be benefited by that. We went on, and if you see here now, this is what I'm going to talk about. The gentleman here in the picture is shown with a pen, and there's a small device kept in front of him, between him and his laptop. That is what I'm going to talk about. This is the pen tablet. There is a interesting device in his hand, that is the pen, and the pen is almost like a magic pen, which can be used for doing various jobs and including drawing, and sometimes it can replace mouse. Those of you get used to it, you may not like to use mouse thereafter. These all things remind us, going back to the blackboard, that is the technology and the circumstances which makes us to adopt and adapt to certain circumstances or certain conditions. Today, because of the COVID-19 situation, the pandemic which is hitting the world, and because of that, we are talking here about how to go ahead with the blended learning or e-training, and that is all because of the situational demand. In the past also, we have gone through such adjustments and such requirements, but that was made by the administration, the IMO. Those of you who have been at sea at that time, and those of you who have been into the marine field, would recollect the three very important developments from my perspective I'm talking about now. That first one was somewhere around 98. A big development came, a big change came, that was about SOLAS. A change was made by heading chapter 4 in chapter 4, regulation 7, and that was all about the GMDSS. Then very exciting phase came when ECDIS was introduced. And of course, in between, the DP also had been introduced. All this was done on the behest or all by the guidance coming in from the IMO, Maritime Safety Committee. And all these, I have a humble contribution of mine, which I am not going to share here with you. But yes, I was associated with the GMDSS, later on with the ECDIS. I had the privilege of introducing ECDIS to this part of the world long way back in 99, 2000, when we tried to install first ECDIS and make it work. That was a big achievement. Of course, in between there was lull, and thereafter it came all of a sudden, and it was made mandatory. That's all about the technology. Now we're just going ahead with the technology which is right in front of us, and that's this magic pen and a tablet device, which is going to be connected to your computer or handheld device. And then you can do away with all the things which we have seen, whether it was a blackboard or a whiteboard, all those things can be done. So this is just a device looks like. If you see it, this can be small in size based upon your requirement, or you may have to go for a big one based upon your liking and based upon your adaptability to it. This is a very handy device, not weighing more than 100 grams. Literally, it is very small, very light device. This is how another device of the same make looks like. This is the device I'm going to use for the demo. This is Wacom, of course, a Chinese one, but here we are not going to talk about what to use and what not to use. But yes, I've been using it for a few last months. Those of you who are deeply into it, those of you who are into drawing and all those, you can go in for a much bigger unit based upon your use and utility. The pen is going to make a huge difference the way you teach, the way you learn. Both the things require sharing of some information between the student and the teacher. The information can be shared very conveniently with this tool. I'm going to give you a demo about it. You can write, the flow of your handwriting data can be converted into a document or a picture, and that can be shared. Depending upon if the document is free to share, you can share it as a PDF, which they can make use of it. Or if you have some issue in not sharing the data, which cannot be copied, then you can make a JPEG file and you can share it with the students. It enhances the e-learning effectiveness. How? You will have to discuss with me, and you will have to give your inputs. How does it really make a difference to your way of delivering, or how your delivering delivery will be affected by this to make your teaching more effective, and thereby making the e-learning effective. It makes the interactive online learning anywhere, anytime. Now, for me, sitting here in Jakarta, I'm able to communicate with you, and I'll be able to draw certain figures and certain flow diagrams by using the device. So it is ideal for a distance learning program. You may be at your home, student may be in any part of India or world, and you can still reach, and you can still make them learn better than what you are doing in the classroom, I would say. So in a way, I can say the long teaching sessions are made easier, because earlier, as even our DG shipping have made certain restrictions on the number of hours. Though I have been taking 6 hours lecture on everyday basis, 3 hours before lunch and 3 hours after lunch, which Nautical Institute allows for that. but DG Shipping has certain restrictions and they have not allowed these many hours of training online. But by using certain devices which the students can be engaged better, they can be immersed better, they can be inspired better by learning with the help of these equipment, and thereby hold your online courses visually and effectively by drawing. So this is what is the use of this pen which I'm going to talk about. Yesterday, some of the speakers did talk about various tools which we are going to use as a platform. Zoom is one of them, and Microsoft Team, both of them you have been introduced to. So this device can be easily connected and can be easily sharing information with these things. So it's very ready to use device for you. Let me tell you that when we say ready to use, it's not just plug and play. We need to have a software downloaded. The moment you download the software, the performance of this piece of equipment improves and you can easily use it. The other things which I will be discussing into the live demo. This is what the picture may look like. You may have to use it standing, or you may have to put it on your lap, you may have to put it on a desk in front of you. You have to get acquainted to, you have to get used to it. In the first few days, I would say, not just a few hours, I would call it, but first few days, you will find it a little bit odd because you are used to writing on a free whiteboard or a blackboard or on your computer. With the help of a device which we normally use, and that is your mouse and then your keyboard. But here you're going to do away with various things. Your mouse and keyboard might be a matter of past if you get hooked to it very soon. This is how your studio should look like. That's a picture taken from behind. The instructor or the teacher is not seen, but his hands are seen. And you see this, there's a pad, and before that is the laptop. This is how clean and nice your workstation should be from home, so that there are no clutters and you're not going to disturb anything, and other things are not going to disturb you as well. You may be wondering what is this now, and but you can see this gloves is put on the hand, and only uh, two fingers and the thumb are free for you to use the pen. This helps you to save your display, to save your pad, and also not to bother you unnecessarily for some scratches or some other things, and no disturbance during the usage of it. So keep it handy for you. I have it and I may use it during the demo session after this introduction. This is how it might be also used depending upon your ergonomic. If your table is big and you are easy within your ergonomic limits, you can use it the way you want it. And depending upon that, you can set it for the class. This is yet one more of a way of doing it, and I'm sure you can adjust that better. I'm skipping that part here. Just to draw your attention, these are the various things we can do with this device. I can use it for digital drawing. And I'm sure many of the Gurujans here and instructors, they use a lots of drawing in the class. Can be used for graphics and design. We may use it restrictively in this case because not very many of us be going for graphics in our class, but yes, some of you might do that. Editing is interesting here, but yes, when you are designing your course material, this can be very helpful for you. I have used it for my book, which is on the way of being published now, and I've used this extensively for editing that piece of information for my book. I can also use for interactive meetings. Now, this I won't call it a session for teaching, but this is our interactive meeting. Let me take it. I'll be using it, and of course, education. That's what is mainly used for, and I'm going to demonstrate that with the help of a demo later. I'm very comfortable using something called PowerPoint, and that's why I'm going to give you a demo first with a PowerPoint, but it's not necessary that you use only PowerPoint. I will also introduce you with a demo into a Word, maybe a PDF format, and also, if time permits, with some other piece of information what we use. But definitely I'll be introducing you with the help of PowerPoint, PDF, and Word. These three things I'll surely will do it for in a quick way. So here I can have various options for pointer. So I have to, after starting this, you go into the pointer options and then you choose pen or a highlighter depending upon what you want to use. So normally I use pen and highlighter. Of course, in case you want to use, you can use it as a highlighter. Highlight the things to the student sitting far away, and you can make. You can also use it for mouse and stylus and all these things, but I'll be using only the pen once I get into the demo mode. I won't be using other things. And you can change the slides with just that, and you don't have to use mouse at all during this process. But mouse is working, so in case you are not comfortable, you can still use mouse with that. The main part here is this annotations. Because we are going to use this with the help of Zoom. The Zoom, if you see, those of you can see, there are annotations, and these annotations, I'm going to make use of it, and then you will find where this is and how to activate it. But at the end of the session, it's up to you as a teacher. You want to delete these annotations, you want to delete whatever changes you made to your PowerPoint, or you want to give it, share it with the students as it is. That is your decision. So I'll be saving it for this, and I can share that, of course, with you in case you need that. So this is what is the basic usage of this into PowerPoint. I'm going to take you for a demo now, and that is going to be just to begin with PowerPoint, and then with the Word, and then I'll take you for a PDF. In case you need to edit a PDF, you need to share the PDF after writing your remarks to the students, or you want to give them a homework or an assignment based upon the PDF they need to read and give you the answers back. So this is what I'm going to do. Let me start with I'm going to use this as a whiteboard, and lots of handwriting and drawing can be done with that. But of course, it will depend upon time, and I will definitely keep a track of time once I do it. Stop sharing. I'm stopping to share this document so that I can share the other one. Give me a moment, please. Prabhat, can you see my slide, please?
I saw it, but now there is just a white background.
Yes, please. I just wanted that white background. That is. Thank you very much. This is my first slide, and if you see here, I can just a minute. This is what I was asked, and this is what was recommended, that I must speak with the audience with the example of some slides, and that is about dynamic positioning. If I'm going to use this, you'll find there's just a small picture there and a ship connected down to the oil well with the help of a series of pipes. We call it riser system, and then the riser system, through the riser system goes the drill bit, and that's going to drill whether it's a vertical drilling or a horizontal drilling. I'm not going to spend time on that, but yes, I'm going to use my device comfortably sitting and keeping the device in my lap. That is what I normally be happy with, so that I can be more easy with the device. Then I just going to use this for the purpose of making drawing. Or if you see here, there's a small red dot, you can see it, and I'm just drawing a circle bigger for your understanding. And just a minute, I'm not getting certain tools here. Okay. So here, with the help of this, if I can draw it, I can put some notations here. Tech team, can you help me to get the annotations which I'm not getting here? There are certain things disabled, it looks like, into this, which are supposed to get annotation. That page is not available here for me.
Captain Subrat, please.
Look into it.
On the Zoom, there's supposed to be an annotation. When annotation comes, then this becomes more interactive with that. Never mind, let me show you some features till the time till you're working on this, because there's supposed to be a main feature on the Zoom here, and that's supposed to be annotation. With the help of annotation, I can activate and deactivate various things into the PowerPoint presentation, and that's what.
So can you try now?
Not really. I don't find this here. It's supposed to be here within the participant poll and new share. Within this is supposed to be annotations. That's a feature of Zoom. So with that feature you can make. But anyway, I'm able to give you some live demo with the help of this without that feature also. But if it gets activated, I'll be happy to do that. So when you have annotations, you will have a small toolbar here again. That toolbar will tell you various things. Are you going to use your mouse, or are you going to use, the selection will be here. With the help of an arrow, you can use mouse, or you can use this device, the pen, which is in my hand. And then there'll be various other things. And those various other things you will have to see physically onto the PowerPoint. When you open the PowerPoint on top, the ribbon will tell you. When you click onto the draw, then you can select that pen and use it. You can also select various other things. You can also select uh, a formula. You can select some shapes to make your PowerPoint more interactive and better. And here I can just simply, because this was not possible earlier, to highlight anything with help of the maximum you could do, that you can use a pointer or a physical device on the whiteboard or on the display and indicate with the help of this. Here I can choose this. And if this annotation was working, it was also possible to check this with the help of change this pen. I could change the color of this pen from red to green to whatever you want to do, that you could do with the help of this. So this is an added feature of this equipment with the help of Zoom, and not otherwise. Okay, there are some more features you are showing. Let me see if they are there around. Sorry, it seems that annotation has not yet been activated on this, or maybe I'm not getting it on my PC. So maybe when that gets done, I'll come back to it. As I was asked to give a demo, how do I teach DP? I teach DP this way. I put in front of them a slide, and I put my own remarks on top of this and tell them how it is to be done. So this is a basic background how the dynamic positioning was started. It was started for safety of drill ships, and that's what I said. The guidance for making DP working was coming in from none other than the IMO, and that was from the Maritime Safety Committee. And a letter, IMO MSC 645, dated 6 June 1994, paved the way for standardization of DP equipment worldwide. So that main issue was the safety of drill ships. And who made it possible was this engineer. His name was Howard Shetto. When I say was, because he left this world a few years back. 2 years back, he died. He was based in Houston, the world capital of oil and gas. And when he designed the first DP vessel of the world, that was way back, many of us were not even born. That was he started working on the same project from 1955-56, when he worked for an oil major called Shell. He was on board, but not as a staff of the ship, but as a owner's representative somewhere, and doing some other job. And he found that the ship's heading was difficult to be maintained by using the conventional methods. And because of that, if the heading is changed, the vessel is exposed to the heavy wind and the vessel will lose position in sun. So that was the background. And he, along with a company which many of you might be aware, that was Honeywell, Honeywell and Howard Shutter together made the world's first DP system working, and that was tried out in 1961. So it's not a new technology at all, it's an old technology. What I'm going to tell you now is not something about DP, but how to use this tool into the presentation, which I make use of the same while making my presentations. Let me see, some more features are active, if I can see them here.
Can you try the annotation again, sir? Because it is left on by default.
Yeah, it is not. I don't find the annotation working here. That's the reason, and that's why it has made some.
Okay.
Yeah, it's normally whenever I've been using it, it comes on by default. I never have to search for it. Never mind. Just let me try once again by closing it down and off sharing, and again I'll share it again for you. Give me a minute, please. Prahat, can you see my blank slides here?
Yes, yes, I can.
To my dismay, still the annotation page has not yet been active on this. I can't see the annotation. Right. Tech team, can you help me out with maybe something to do with settings there, because it is supposed to be right here, annotations between this.
Dr. Sured, basically what we wanted to show them is the XP pen, use of XP pen. And
Yes.
Our objective is met. So let us not sweat over a lesson on DP. If it is not coming, no problem.
Okay. Let me just do what I can do with the help of the limited resources here then. All right. When you use this pen and you click on here, there'll be a page opening on top here, and the page is going to give you lots of access to other things which you can do with the help of this pen. You can draw, you can sketch, you can also, okay, let me just give it a try with the help of maybe Word in case it happens. Then once you're done with and you close it, it's going to ask you whether you want to keep the changes or discard the changes. If it is your PowerPoint which are going to use again, then you discard it. And if you're going to use and give this PowerPoint to the students, then you keep the changes and share it with the students. That's what I was thinking of going to do it, but it's not really happening here. So I still kept it. Let me just use maybe a word, and if it says active somewhere, I can see that. No, but that's a feature of Zoom, so it's not going to be active.
What we'll do, Dr. Suren, since now we are slightly above the time,
Okay.
while the next speaker comes in and does it, in the end, we will squeeze you back with another 5 minutes.
I'll be happy to come back and give you the demo which is remaining after this. That's what was the main important part of it. That how do you save that? How do you make use of this pen? Because the pen can be used just not writing. You can make your notes, and then there'll be a block appearing for you can type it out again something here. So suppose you made a drawing here. With the help of the pen, you made a drawing and a flow chart, and you write some notes here in this with the help of your maybe pen or with the help of your keyboard, and that will come up as a Word document. So you can augment this learning with help of this. So that means you have a Word file in the side, and you also have a diagram which is ready to be used by the instructor, or maybe it is can be used by the other faculty also, or can be shared with the students. That's what I thought of, but I wanted to make it a real demo with the help of this. But certain features I can't see it yet. Maybe at the end of this, when I use my own, but then again, that will have limitations because the number of the students will be less with that, because I got a Zoom for only 100 capacity. Well, that's what was, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot to learn from this. You plug it in your device, download the software, and just keep doing it. And I'm sure you will enjoy loving this small equipment. With the help of this, you can make your presentation more attractive, and you can make the learning better. That's what the aim is, and that's what I've been using it for. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Suren. You can stop your screen share.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. It's done.
That was wonderful. We came to know of a new equipment which could be handy when doing e-learning. Talking about e-learning or remote digital teaching and learning, while listening to you, and my mind sometimes wanders off, and I went on the ship. And on the ship, the thought which came to me that, hello, we as seafarers have this in our blood. What? That working in an environment and staying in that environment. So today, this is what we are doing. If we take as a ship, we go every day to work on deck or bridge or engine room, and then come back in the accommodation, which is also on the ship. While today in this e-learning era or the digital era, I think it is even easier. We go to a bedroom, we go to a dining room to have food, and we don't have to come back to the accommodation, but we just press a button on our PC or a laptop or a phone, and here we are sitting in the class, enjoying or teaching or learning and enjoying the sessions. So we are quite used to. Having said that, now I invite our next resource speaker, Captain Viraf Chijgar, and he will deliver on MS Teams. Captain Viraf Chijgar, please.
Good morning once again. Thank you, Captain Nigam. And thank you and welcoming all the ladies and gentlemen who've taken up the time. To begin with, I just need a moment to share my screen, and that should be it. And to just begin with, we're starting with a small poll. And if I can just request everybody to participate, it's a multiple choice poll. You can tick in as many options as you were to choose. If you can just kindly assist, and since we just have a minute, you can just participate in this poll. It reads as, please select all the applications, software, and other devices which you think you are required to have when running a fully functional online e-learning school. Polling has picked up some steam now. WhatsApp is, as expected, the market leader. Quickly overtaken by Zoom and Google Classroom. Excuse me. We'll give it about 10 seconds more because it's a multi-selection poll, so people are taking time. And we've touched the 300 mark. So I will end the polling and share the results. And that's what you have on your screen. Most people have opted for Google Meet. That's the leader. Google Classroom, Google Meet, etc., the Google Suite, and a lot think that Zoom would also help, 88 and 83% respectively. I'll just move along with this thing, and we're done with the poll. Uh, we're on the first slide now. The reason we did this poll is to help understand that you can opt for multiple means of achieving a e-school or a e-classroom, and at the same time you have the option of um working with Microsoft Teams. Now, Microsoft Teams is pretty much, as you can see on the screen, going to do the job of whatever you have selected, the 8 options that you had, and many more, is what Microsoft Teams does for you. Now, please do also bear with us, as it was with the Google Suite yesterday, and Mr. Girdhar, my colleague, said, we can only, in the window that we have in the basic course, show you what is available, the versatility of the software, and what are the features available, and how you can use these features, adapt them to running an online class or an online school in full compliance and adherence to DG's current and possibly future guidelines as well. That being said, please do understand that due to time constraints and the fact that we are not IT professionals, we've learned on the job during the lockdown, and we're simply sharing what we have learned so far. We will only be giving a familiarization around on the features available in this platform and how it suits everybody. For operating and installing each feature, YouTube is a good source of learning, but please do understand there are dozens of features. Each feature takes a good, anything from 2 to 20 minutes to understand and study. A lot of these features will be discussed on the advanced workshop next week. And please allow me just to have these 20 minutes more, I'm sorry, 40 minutes more to run you through these features and how best you can adapt if you choose to use Microsoft Teams. Uh, a very quick 7 slides now, which are only going to talk very briefly of what is inside this package. And beyond that, after the next 7 slides, we see how we can work our way around and use each of these features to run a compliant online school. Text and voice features available. Before I go any further, I would encourage people to put questions on the chat, please, and we can move along. Now, the 7 slides out here are essentially to quickly prove that all the tools that you selected in the polls are available as a one-stop window. Whether it is text and voice calls, whether it is uploading attachments like you would do in OneDrive, video calls like you would do in Skype. You can have a joint call with 250 users, and within those 250 users, 20 of them can simultaneously stream their video feeds. That being said, of course, everybody can share their screen. Everybody can upload attachments during that call. And most importantly, the entire call can be recorded and it can be played back. And we'll see these features a little later. Why Teams again? We can divide our internal, which means our own colleagues, into an internal team, and we can bring in external users. That's of course the candidates. It can be a guest speaker. It can even be a service provider or vendor. and we can build up the team on 3 levels. Again, we will discuss these 3 levels. As you can see on the slides, you can see 3 levels, and we will discuss that in detail further. Storage of files is one of the biggest concerns. Everybody would be assuming that to comply with the 5-year storage of data, you would have massive capital investment in servers, large hard disk devices, etc. But file storage is not a big challenge. It's a Microsoft platform. There is ample space on the cloud for a Microsoft user. If you're minimum 2 GB for individual user, 10 GB for a group, for a free user, up to 25 terabytes per user for a paid user. More importantly, it allows you not just to share files on the cloud, it allows you to access them and simultaneously work on them. So if I am going to be working on, let's say, the next week's timetable and I need inputs from my colleagues, I can open my timetable file and simultaneously work on it, and it auto saves along with my colleagues working on it together. So you have this ability of working simultaneously, something which we have seen in other platforms also. Um, let's say OneDrive or Google Dropbox, etc. It is already available in Teams. Why Teams? Slide number 4. As you might have imagined and possibly mistakenly imagined, it is not limited to Windows being a Microsoft product. You can work it on an Android device, you can work it on the exclusive platform of Apple devices and Windows, of course. So it's laptop friendly, it is tablet friendly, mobile friendly. Better still, tablets, and pretty much a large screen tablet or even some laptops are touch screen compatible. So you can just simply use the stylus and have your whiteboard feature on your screen itself. Uh, Cyber security is our biggest concern. A lot of people are concerned about Zoom's cyber security or perceived issues. Zoom has assured, it's an American company, it has assured encryption. On your left of your screen, you'll see a green shield which says that from 1st of June, the cyber security of Zoom itself has been doubled. But that being said, we are very concerned about cybersecurity or simple glitch in all these. So the cybersecurity is obviously a Microsoft platform. It's pretty much the biggest operating system in the world. So it's kept updated. It is in compliance of ISO EU standards, and your data is safe and backed up from losses. Again, nearly everybody uses Microsoft Office on a day-to-day basis. Some of us have been using it from decades. It's just a bouquet of products, whether it is Word, whether it is Excel, whether it's PowerPoint, in which the presentation is OneDrive. Skype belongs to Microsoft, and we've all been using it, OneNote, etc. All this is available as part of the Teams package. Also, it does not limit you to only Microsoft products. There are third-party products which can be integrated into Teams. There are about 250 plus third-party products, whether it is Adobe, whether it is Freehand for your whiteboard, whether it is in fact Zoom. The funny thing is it doesn't really need it, but you can actually work Zoom, which is a third-party product, from within Microsoft Teams if you want to use a different platform for video conferencing. Uh, just like yesterday, our good colleague Mr. Girdhar shared the Google Calendar. You can sync it with the Outlook calendar. You can send notifications. You can plan events, shifts. You can send out notification, track attendance, etc. And you can even extract these in an Excel sheet. So people who are having difficulty maintaining the calendar can see it just as a regular Excel calendar if they are this thing. The Teams event. Now, how the meeting is different from the event is a live stream of videos, just like Zoom is a video conferencing platform. A Teams event can stream a live video of up to 10,000 viewers, And if I have 14 other colleagues, they can stream up to 10,000 viewers each at same time concurrently. So you can have 15 events of 4 hours each going on concurrently from your establishment, each targeting 10,000 viewers. Now, all this obviously you would expect to come as a surprise, and that is where the surprise is. Teams is a fully free platform. Most of the features that you would use for an online school or an online classroom are available for free. Yes, that's pretty much right. It is available for free for all users. All you need is a simple email connection, email account. It does not have to be a corporate account. I have a corporate account for my employees, but I can just as well use most of the features using my private account on, let's say, my spouse's laptop. The people who are already part of larger organizations may not realize it. To be perfectly honest, until the lockdown forced us into this situation, our own colleagues, our own team were not aware of the features. We knew something like Teams was there, but we were not fully aware of its potential. And we got the hang of it, trial and error and use. And most of us who have a business Microsoft 365, it used to be called Office 365, most of us, in fact, might already have Teams as a paid version. You see a lot of plans in this slide, and you may not have realized it, but you already have the paid versions, the advanced versions, already inside your laptop. All you have to do is search for Teams. Or if it's not there, go onto the Microsoft Store and download the app, or go to the browser. You can use it from the app, you can use it from the browser, and keep moving along. So that's pretty much a 10-minute summary of what Teams has to offer as a one-stop solution, and essentially for free. So you don't have to, pick and choose, go jump from Zoom Meet to Google Meet or this thing. It's all there. That being said, there is one challenge. There's nothing like a free lunch. It's an issue. Please do understand. Unlike Google Classroom, this Teams app was designed for large corporates. It can go to 50,000 and all over employees and etc. So as the ability to have a lot of features, the ability to integrate almost every third party app of great value, it is in fact a bit challenging. It's not painful. It's just pleasantly challenging to operate it, because to allow this kind of cybersecurity, to use these features to a maximum, please, our sincere request is, don't be a first time user. Don't get discouraged within the first hour of using this. Give it some time. You can interact with MTG. This video will be available. On the advanced course, we'll be showing actually using and creating, installing all these features. And it needs a patient user uh, to this thing. But once you're in it, all the criticism you had in the first hour or the first day sometimes will be done with once you see the features available. Moving along now, how to use Teams to comply to the DGS 19 2020 and go beyond the requirements of this. The summary of general advantages. Captain Nigam sir has been talking about the 4 C's and collaboration and community is built on communication. This is by far a very, 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 very superior tool when it comes to working in collaboration, communicating in collaboration. We've already spoken about it in some length already. And the good thing is most of us are already familiar with Microsoft products. So you don't have to go through a complex, jargon and technical challenging scenarios of a new browser like you have with a mobile phone. Yeah, this is an Apple layout and this is a Android layout, and this is a MI screen. You can customize themes to look exactly like a Windows Explorer. You can search online, on the cloud, on SharePoint, with everything looking like the Windows Explorer, and you wouldn't even know the difference. It is a very good tool. I'm sure a lot of colleagues and trainers agree that since some of us are a larger corporate structure, we spend a lot of time on official emails, a lot of time which we can use to teach and research on teaching. We have a lot of official emails to put across, to convey, to our bosses, to our colleagues, to our team, and it does take time. It's inconveniencing to keep searching for emails. Now, that is where the Teams chat can work as a very good replacement for email. Now, the question in your mind is, why wouldn't Skype or WhatsApp do the same thing? You're chatting there. The problem with Skype and WhatsApp is, especially if it's not Skype for Business, which is, again, please to understand, Skype is a Microsoft product, is that those chats are deletable. It's difficult to recover them. You have to export them. And WhatsApp obviously doesn't have a very good audit or compliance standing. Now, you can do the same thing on the Teams chat, and the beauty of the Teams chat is it can be synced in a two-directional approach with your Outlook email. So Outlook is available for any kind of address. You don't have to have a Hotmail address or Outlook.com. You can launch the Outlook with a Gmail address, etc. And like I said, it's a twin directional thing. You can take an email, and you can directly, as you can see on the screen, on top half, it says there's a small icon which says on the left side, share to teams, and the share to teams pop-up comes in, and you can decide which team and which channel you want to share this whole email to. You also, each team and each channel, as you can see on the bottom half of the screen, the yellow text box with the red font, we have a dummy a team made for the MTG TET workshop for testing, and it has its own private email account. So you can, even if you don't have this feature, if you're not comfortable using Outlook, you can just as well use your Gmail account, and you have the email ID below for your team and chat, and everything gets exported to your chat. Similarly, the opposite direction task can also be done. If you have things in your chat and you want to maintain record, it's already there for eternity. The chat is there. It is being live recorded. There are videos of your chat, the videos of your classroom. But even there, you want to back up the thing, you can take the entire meeting and you can email all the posts, you can email all the this thing, besides the video backup, besides the actual thing in Teams, you can email it back to Outlook. So it works two ways. There's interconnectivity, which then leaves you a lot of time to do what we are all meant to do, be trainers. So you can see a little bit, why your email will obviously not be totally replaceable, but you can reduce your reliance onto email. It will take time. It's a new normal. You have to get the hang of it. But definitely, there is tremendous potential for this feature of Microsoft Teams. Now, we will, time permitting, have a small video to show how you can build your own team. And of course, the advanced class will have a live session on this in the Teams itself. But anybody, he or she, can invite a person and create a channel. So you have a team. Within the team, now I work in a training institute for a large management firm, that's fleet management. And within my team, I have colleagues who are faculty, who are support members. We have an accounts and IT specialist. Now I can put them all in a team, but if I don't want to clutter everybody's box, I can simply create a channel of the faculty who are former master mariners, and we can discuss maybe exist on that channel only. So essentially, you can do that as an organization. Please do understand, whatever you do as an organization, you can replicate with third party. So the team feature, instead of calling it channel now, I can start calling it as a class. I can have a DNS class, a team of, let's say, DNS batch 35, 40 members, and of course the faculty to it. So let's add 10. You are allowed to add about 250, let's say 40 plus 10, 50 members of the team. And then you can build classrooms on the team, which Microsoft calls channels, and you can just name them as classrooms. So you can say navigation, you can say chart work, you can say stability, and you can mix and match, and you can allow people to collaborate within your organization and also outside your organization. You make the organization, gentlemen. You don't have to be a big corporate. You simply have to have an email account and be a free user. It's not challenging. It is not this thing. All the features are available for a lifetime. It's not shareware that it's valid only till till we get a COVID vaccine or something like that. It is available. The features are available at the moment for eternity. There is no cutoff date. And this is how you can set up. The owner, team owner can be the admin, it can be the principal, vice principal. It's always better to have a backup account also, a couple of owners. And then you could have the members, your work colleagues, and at the lowest strata of this ecosystem, you can have guests. So you can get in third-party lectures, students, authorities, but it's a good three-way platform to limit what a candidate can do and what a candidate cannot do. So it keeps your material safe. You can share your material with no inadvertent or some malicious harm to your material. It all stays safe because of different three levels of access. This is just a very quick slide on creating chat rooms and chat calling. As you can see, there are not too many steps in it. There's step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and you're done. You just click that little pen, which create icon, type in the email IDs of your team members, and go off to a video call, an audio call. You can screen share. Middle of the call, you can add people. If you've forgotten somebody or somebody is coming late, you can obviously do a lot of things with the live call, which will pop up in a few slides from now. Again, one great worry and challenge, as was brought up by a few esteemed speakers yesterday, is maintaining 5 years of records. For a large establishment, that would mean a lot of investment in servers, in terms of hard disk devices, SSDs, etc. You can reduce that or duplicate that as a safety margin by keeping every file. And if you can see the slide, whether it is registration, attendance, class recordings, study material, assessments and tests, and every other data, you can keep it in the files. You can share it on a OneDrive platform. You can open it in SharePoint and give it to an authority like the respected DG shipping or the DG who wants to verify these records. And it saves a lot and gives you a lot of storage. Like I said, even a free user, each team gets 10 GB of space, each team, mind you. And a paid user, it can go to 25 terabytes of this thing. Again, like I say, paid doesn't mean you have to pay extra for Microsoft Teams. It comes as your Microsoft 365 package, which used to be called as Office 365 package. It may, for a lot of you people, a lot of people, attendees in this thing, it may already be on your laptop. You may already have this paid for with amazing amount of storage and features. Now, one of the examples only for this short session of how these storage features can be used. Now, just as Mr. Saurabh said yesterday, you can export records of the attendance, but there is a bit of a challenge in there. Is most of these export records either in a CSV Excel file or a PDF file. And as we know, both of these files are not secure. You can put n number of passwords and you can still edit and amend it. So it's questionable how audit compliant those kind of records are. So we will, of course, be taking that. But we internally have, we sort of propose a go around for this. If you have a smaller group of participants, let's say 8-seater IMO EGDIS, generic EGDIS course, all you need to do is let them have their cameras live, and you can, save a screenshot of this. Please do bear in mind, whenever I'm saying this, please bear in mind the entire session is also being recorded or as a video. So they will be within that video. The attendance with facial recognition is already on video. So that is also a way to collaborate if there is any doubt about attendance. That being said, we can take screenshots with the name, with the face of the candidate, the faculty, of course, also. At the bottom right, you can see, not a very pretty mugshot of myself. And that's what you see on the right side. That works very well for smaller classes, 8, 12 people. If you don't want, as a faculty, to take too much time on this, you can ask, particularly for large long-term courses. It would be tedious for the faculty to do it every day. You have another option. For each class, the candidates, you have a big group of 40. uh, every device, whether it's a mobile phone or a webcam enabled laptop, has a camera feature in it. So here I've taken the Windows camera, and you take a live screenshot, and in one of the files that I showed you before on the online storage in the Teams, you keep a folder saying attendance. You can see here, if the font is legible, you see it says 01 attendance, batch number 0120 of EGDIS, day one, and each participant uploads his own selfie. We are pretty much in a selfie obsessed world. Let them take a selfie each morning and let it upload. Now, the reason for the red text and the red font is, please remember, we have to establish an auditable evidence. So once these files are uploaded, please do not try and move it around. Please do not amend it. Yes, of course, within the course, you may just, clerically sort it out neater. But beyond the period of the course, do not amend it, because what is very important, that these files retain their timestamp. So if it's verifiable during an audit or inspection, even a year later, the authenticity of this is easily verifiable. Again, like I said, this only supplements the attendance on live video, which you'll see again in the next few slides. We are going to do, you have already experienced the Google Docs feature yesterday when giving the test. You can use exactly the same format in Microsoft. Anything which Google does, Microsoft will claim to do better, and anything which Microsoft does, Google will claim to do better. So the exact thing, you can use something called Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Forms, I apologize. And in our advanced session, we will have a detailed presentation of how to use MS Forms. And MS Forms, what can you do with forms? You can create a live poll, you can create a quiz, and most importantly, you can start from day one on the registration. It's not just MCT quiz like you've experienced so far. It is far, far, far capable. We can use the DG formatted registration form. We can upload that, and we can have a feature where the candidate himself can attach the documents. So whether it is attaching his own photograph, it is when attaching his CDC copy, etc. Sitting at home, he can use MS Forms as a user and upload his own documents, and you can very comfortably get it into an Excel sheet with embedded attached documents. You can set up the rules to nicely sit in a folder, keeping your manual labor to the barest of minimum. It's totally automated. Uh, this is just like you had the test yesterday. uh, this is just the internal share of a test we had. We opened a particular webinar recently with a icebreaker teaser. Uh, a test or a quiz does not necessarily have to be at the end of the course. It is always a good thing to have a small one just to see where your candidates stand, what is the exposure, what is the awareness. That gives a very good idea for the trainer how in depth he will be required to go, which topic he needs to be going in depth. So as you can see, you can review the answer, you can export in an Excel, you can see graphs. Here I understand that out of 57 respondents, only 26 got it right, and one was honest enough. I'm glad for that. Who selected don't know for certain. So we have honest candidates as well. Yeah, hoping all of them are that way. Um, so, like I said, we'll be going back to forms in a detailed manner in the advanced course, and we will encourage you to make your own form, make your own quiz, make your own registration form, feedback forms, etc., and how you can collate the data later on. Again, most people would assume that if we are going to run 3-4 hours of session, that's a big video file. It's not. Most of these apps, most of these software learning management systems have the ability to capture the screen in perfect legible resolution as well as encrypted so that it takes minimum data. That being said, after you capture, there is no reason for you to take physical data. It gets backed up in another Microsoft product. Like I said, the Teams works with a whole load of software and apps. One of them it works with, one of them it is easily integratable with, is Microsoft Streams. Please understand it's Streams and not Teams. And you can use Streams, which is Microsoft's version of YouTube, if I might say. You can use it for two things. One is on the left, you can see the MTG logo and the MTG classroom in Microsoft Teams. You can have a teaching video. We spoke about LVSs yesterday. You don't have to go into YouTube and build a private channel and worry about whether it is public or whether it is private. You can go to Teams and simply share. It happens automatically. Your sessions are getting recorded, and then move on to Streams. And I don't even have to go out on the browser and do that. I have already inserted Streams. You can see MTG that is a stream account for this classroom. So you can use this video streaming service, keeping the videos on the cloud. You can use it for a training video where the candidates can see it during the session, after the session, synchronous, asynchronous, as a recap of your class. It is available there for viewership. And every classroom session, the other beauty of this is every classroom session gets automatically stored. And you can see webinar 5, session 02. And on the starboard side, you can see a column with all these sessions recorded. And you can play it back there. So if this workshop was being run on Teams, by the time we ended at 12:30 today, you would already have the entire recording available for everybody out there. And of course, you can share these links outside as well. Uh, you can also see a very nice feature if somebody is having some audio disturbance. On top of the right image, on the right top of that image, you can see uh, you have a transcript. Everything that we spoke in this webinar, my colleagues, myself, as long as you stick to one language, you can't go, "Are bhai dhyan de," so it doesn't work that way. As long as you stick to English, the entire transcript is automatically changed into closed captions. So if there was an issue with somebody's sound, and if he missed it, he can still even see the transcript automatically, closed captions getting translated and coming on Microsoft screen. So whatever the communication was, the entire transcript of that communication is also available for verification. What we spoke is also available if you choose to have it available. It's not really compulsory. One note, we're talking about the App Store now. The Teams has its built-in app store. Like I said, it has Microsoft apps. It has third-party apps. A lot of you heard about Kahoot. A lot of you have already obviously know about Zoom. You can add an app and give it to the entire team to use. OneNote is a beautiful app. A lot of schools are using it already, where assignments can be put, etc. So you have options, and within the main option, you have multiple options. It sounds all very complex in this memorization talk, but as you get the hang of it, it is not just easy. It is in fact addictive. It's difficult to get out of Teams once you are hooked onto it. One of the apps which you could use is, of course, you can allow users to go to YouTube links. You can go to Wikipedia. You can launch Wikipedia and YouTube as an app built into the Teams. So that's just a small sample, which is on your presentation right now. Okay, this is something which the scenario, I'm based out of Mumbai. The scenario has led it to be a useful team. As you may know that Mumbai is badly affected, unfortunately, and the local government is allowing us to resume from tomorrow, but only 10% strength in each office. So I can actually use Teams to convey the shifts of on which day which colleague of ours is going to be, and it is notified not just to the team members that what shift they are planned for. It is also conveyed to all the members that this is the schedule of shifts. Now, this is not the classroom schedule, please. This is the shift schedule for your work. So you can limit this, you can share it with outsiders, you can limit it to your faculty members, your colleagues. And again, as you see on the right side, it says export schedule, import schedule. It's very easy to export and import data from Teams in Excel. Excel belongs to Microsoft. And that's how magically your certificates come within minutes of completion your test. The results are in Excel. We can import it into PDF automatically. Doesn't matter where you did the test. Uh, Excel is very versatile in this. So you can export the schedule in an Excel sheet, maybe for printing out, maybe for somebody who's not comfortable with Teams. He wants to view the schedule in Excel. And you can import. You can just keep on amending that Excel sheet and import it for next week. So you don't have to keep on, duplicating. You can just cut, copy, paste things in Excel and keep on working week by week. Of course, you have the choice to do this for shifts. You have the choice to do this for classrooms. Uh, I can plan meetings. We have 2 webinars internally for fleet management on Wednesday and Thursday. I have scheduled a meeting. My colleagues are also all online today, so they will get the notification in any case, but there is a meeting scheduled for webinar 7. Hi, colleagues, and you're going to get a notification for webinar 7, which is a technical webinar through the Teams platform very shortly, a Monday morning meeting, 9 a.m. to 9:30. Automatic notifications, again, gentlemen, in Teams and in emails, etc. By the way, live session is, as I brought it up before, you can have just a meeting with 250 participants, with 20 people of those having their cameras and share screen live, or you can have a live event where Bill Gates wants to talk to 10,000 viewers at a time. Maybe he's launching a new product, and he can do it through this also. Mind you, the 10,000 is available for free users as well. Is Teams really free for use? And gentlemen, the amount of times I have said it's free for use, I may be sounding like a Microsoft employee, but I assure you I'm not. It's just as Mr. Vankadeji said yesterday, the whole idea of this workshop is to uh, allow people to see what is available in the market, what is free, what are the features, benchmark it with other products. Yesterday was Google, today is Microsoft Teams' turn. And we will keep on sharing this. And as Captain Nigam sir said, we will keep on this approach of sharing our knowledge. So as you can see, unlimited chats, built-in calling, 10 GB of file storage, and 2 GB per person for personal storage for a free user. integrated Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. App integration, running anything from it. You can use a Microsoft Whiteboard. If you have a tablet, you can just use a stylus and work on it, or a touchscreen laptop. And before I can start with questions, I would just like a small window. I'm just keeping on looking at the clock. I would not like to overshoot. Just a small video of how you can, it's a 2.5 minute video, how you can start up on Teams. I'm sorry, the video is the next slide. It just gives you the maximum limits. You can see if it's a paid account, it's humongous, 500,000 teams, number of teams, mind you, not participants, teams a global admin can create. And we come to the video.
Hi there. Welcome to Microsoft Teams, a collaboration app that helps your team stay organized and have conversations all in one place.
May I confirm audio video is on, please?
Teams. Here, you can see a list of all the teams you're part of.
Audio video both are.
And made up of channels. You can build them by topic, department, or just for fun. Channels are where the real work gets done, where you hold meetings, have team conversations, and share files. At the top of each channel, you'll find tabs. They're like links to your favorite files, apps, and services. Want to have a quick, on-the-spot meeting with people in your channel? Select Meet Now. In a meeting, you can show content from your computer or record your meeting. When you share a file in a channel conversation, you and your team can edit it at the same time and share thoughts alongside it. To find all the files that have been shared in a channel, go to the Files tab at the top of the channel. To see all the files ever shared across the team, click Files on the left. Want to talk privately with a person or group? Click New Chat at the top and type their names. Give the chat a name to make it easier to find later. To make a call directly from a chat, click Video Call or Audio Call. In some cases, if your organization has set it up, you can call anyone from Teams using calls, even if they're not using Teams. In meetings, you can see everything you've got lined up for the day or week. Or schedule a meeting. This calendar syncs with your Outlook calendar. Go to Activity for a view that lets you catch up on all your unread messages, @mentions, replies, and more. And use the command box to search for specific items or people, take quick actions, and launch apps. Convenient, right? And don't forget to download the mobile app so you're in sync when you're on the go. Thanks for watching. Now bring in your team and let the collaboration begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we can go for a very quick and brief Q&A, depending on the time available, I would just like acknowledgement slide to be there. A big thank you to all the attendees for taking time off, particularly on Sunday, and being patient with our speakers. We are trying to share whatever limited knowledge we have. Hope it helps people take a decision, educated decision. Would like to thank the MTG Maritime Trainers Guild for providing this platform to share this knowledge, and I would also like to acknowledge the help provided by my colleagues and acquaintances, Captain Swapnil Harne, Captain Anand Patil, and Captain Gaurav Chapra, for assisting on this session. So thank you so much. And we can take questions. I have not really been on the chat. If there's somebody who would like to have something, if you can please go ahead, and I'll just pause the share.
You'll have to remove your share screen, and then I will see if there are some hands up. Then I'll ask the question, ask him to address the question. Otherwise, we'll go ahead.
Yes, sir. Captain MS Anantharam Srinivasan has raised his hand, sir. If I can request him.
Yes, no problem. But can you stop your share screen so that we can only see the participants.
Okay, sir.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Gentlemen, anybody, Captain Anand would like to start with this query? That was the first gentleman with raised hand. Somebody would like to do the Sri Ganesh? Mr. T. Mohan has mentioned unable to use Forms in Teams, getting error message. So Forms is an online platform. You can just go to Microsoft and you have to sign into Forms. And it's what happens in Teams is you simply hyperlink the forms there, and you create the form there, and you can hyperlink it, and you can use it more conveniently after you create it outside on the browser, and you can use forms. The same thing for streams. You can work on it outside. You can work on it within. But any challenges, we are here to assist. We've got nearly a week. For the advanced course, you can always drop in an email to MTG or a chat, and we can assist on Microsoft Forms. It is a topic in itself. It will need about 15-20 minutes just to teach how to make a registration form, how to make a live poll, etc. And we will, yes, what Captain Gyanendra Singh has put in, yes, is pretty much true. Probably questions would arise once we start using it. Yes, sir, definitely. We had a lot of questions when we went into lockdown on 23rd March. We had questions which even our IT team would put back the question with another question to us, sir. So it will take some time, but again, I request all the ladies and gentlemen in the audience. It is designed for a large corporate. It's got a lot of features. You can't jump into a Formula One car and expect to drive safely from the very first day. So if you like to get the thrill of a Formula One car, you will have to be patient in learning its features as well, sir. We're there. YouTube is a good platform to learn.
Okay, Mr. Vijay Pandey, you raise your hand. Please go ahead with your question. Unmute and go ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. Actually, I joined late. So my request is, sir, how can I watch this video again?
Well, it is there recorded. It is there. You can see it in MTG YouTube or in Marix YouTube or in HIMT YouTube.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Captain Manmohan Sagi, please.
Thanks, Viraf. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely brilliant presentation, Viraf. Absolutely delighted.
Thank you, sir.
And very clear. It was absolutely, the voice was clear, the presentation was clear, absolutely delightful. Just a clarification, there are a lot of concerns in the mind of teachers or institutions that they would like to protect their intellectual property. And is there a mechanism in the Microsoft team whereby that if we do not want people who are watching it to copy it or screen record it, of course, one can always use a tripod or something like that to record that. We can do nothing about it. But there are some built-in features to prevent the screen recording to protect the intellectual copyright. Is that possible?
So most places that we are uploading files, we are doing, we are keeping it read-only and limited to the classroom, so they will only be able to read. In Microsoft Stream, again, only people who have the link can again view it. It can be streamed. It can't be downloaded other than the owners. So there are challenges, but so particularly this, I wouldn't be able to accurately answer this because where we are, everybody knows a loophole before you even launch the product. I think Microsoft also realizes that. Definitely a third-party screen recorder which can capture screenshots and which can capture videos. I guess there is nothing preventing from that whether it is Microsoft Teams, whether it is Google, whether it is YouTube. For the moment, I can capture the screen, sir, of you sitting and definitely record it. So I just need a screenshot, sir, of you.
I understand. Thank you very much. It's very clear. Thank you.
Okay, three more questions. I have Captain Soma Sundaram raising his hand. Captain Soma Sundaram, unmute and ask, please.
Yeah, good morning. This is Captain Somasundaram. Very nice presentation. We are using Teams right now, but it says it's free for 6 months. After that, it's a paid version. Is it true?
No, sir. What happens is this is a little gray area. What happens is you already have Microsoft Office 365 as a corporate.
License.
So, you have a corporate license. So because of your email being Outlook and your user, paid user, Teams and its higher end features and the larger this thing is available for 6 months and extended right now through COVID. Whether it is Teams, whether it is Google, whether it is Zoom, everybody is offering it at an extended. It's gone to 2021. The last I checked, it's been extended to well within 2021. You know, it's in vaccine area dates these days, and the Microsoft support group, if you approach them, they will always migrate you onto the free version. You can write to them as an establishment that I would like to migrate from this to that one, and it will be extendable, sir. At the end of the day, if it's me or if it's my spouse, she can use Teams for free. The thing is, you're already the Teams user, so the paid version is just in sync with the other paid things of Microsoft Office. That's also. It's just telling you when your Office 365 is expiring.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Next question from Captain Prabhat Ranjan. Unmute and speak, please, Captain Prabhat Ranjan. Okay, no problem. Then Mr. Bahadur Singh, please unmute and speak.
Viraf, good morning. Excellent presentation. I have a question that since you have seems to be knowing many of these apps or suits very well, and in one of your remarks you said that Google says that their suit is best and MS Team says they are the best. What is your opinion?
So I get a similar question. Sometimes I am happens to be and blessed to be a certified trainer for a lot of EGDISs, and a lot of times colleagues and students ask, "Okay, Captain Viraf, what is the best EGDIS in the market today?" And I ask them, "What was the last EGDIS you used on your last ship?" And they say it was a Furuno FMD. So I said, for you, the best EGDIS is Furuno FMD, sir. It's
Excellent
just
answer. Excellent answer. Yes, we
No,
cannot
no,
take.
no, 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 no. It may be true for EGDIS because this person has used a guy who has not used anything. He will eventually find out which is the best, whether Google or this, by experimenting. But my question, since he's been using for so long, he could if just put a pointer that okay, this is the way to go forward.
So if this question was asked to me on March 23rd, sir, I would use some very unparliamentary language about Microsoft Teams. We were struggling. We were impatient ourselves. But like I said, it is tremendously equipped to, it's a equivalent. It's if you want to drive a Formula One Ferrari, sir, you have to make the effort for it. It is difficult to start up and get accustomed to it. But if you're willing to invest in the time and efforts, I personally feel, because I am quite familiar with Google Classroom as well, we had been using this as a platform. Google was a platform with my employer a few years ago, Fleet Management. Now we've gone over to Microsoft as a platform. And it is more versatile in my personal opinion, sir. It allows you more freedom, and therefore it needs a little more effort to explore those options for basic usage. And like I said, the levels of owner, member, guest, तो Google Classroom में आप एक कोड शेयर कर लो and anybody can walk in. You can control that walk in. You can throw out a troublemaker. But here it's not that. You have to invite each person with an email invite. He has to accept that, join your organization. So it can be a bit tedious if the classroom is a big one. But like I said, so a DNS class works for 1 year. It is 40 people. 40 emails in and you're done for 1 year. So it is worth the effort. It is definitely worth the effort, sir.
Well, let me summarize it. First of all, MTG will never do any branding for any particular corporate. What we are trying to do over here is, suppose you are in a flat overlooking a garden, overlooking a beach, overlooking a swimming pool. We will just open your windows for you. You go and see whether you want to go to the garden, you want to go to the sea, you want to go to the beach. That is your decision. We will not do any kind of branding for any of the corporates. It is totally up to you. So with this, I will say excellent presentation, Viraf. वो टीवी चैनल में बोलते हैं ना, सुपर से भी ऊपर. So let us hear it for him, guys. Give your reactions. Give your reactions. Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, sir, and thank you so much. Appreciate the time spent on weekend. Everybody, please stay safe, ladies and gentlemen, and we look forward to a lot of you to attend not just the next advanced TET course, but a lot of these will happen in the near future, sir. So see you there. Then. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, with this, we go for a small break. Stretch your legs, have a cup of tea or coffee as you wish, or cold drink, and over to you, tech team.
Yeah, Dr. Surinder, can you come in, please? Meanwhile, okay, during a break, we will just test out the annotation. Thank you.
Dr. Surinder, please.
Unmute yourself, sir. Dr. Surinder, unmute, please. You can share your screen and you can try it also. Dr. Surinder. Sir, unmute yourself, Dr. Surinder. Dr. Surinder, unmute, please. Unmute yourself.
So can you first try the whiteboard, sir? Annotation on the whiteboard, please.
Can you hear that now?
Yeah, I'm here.
So we can see
I
the
was not.
PPT.
I was not okay. Yeah, I'm on that now. It is there. Annotation is activated, and I'm sure that can be done now.
Oh, great, sir. Great. So can you do some annotation, sir, just for the sake of?
I'm just doing that.
Okay.
Dr. Surendra, so you want me to continue this and then you will show you a little bit later on?
I think the whatever remarks have come, I think this is okay. If you have time later on, I can do it, and if you don't have time, it's I think still okay. But in the advanced course, then we can do it better because the tempo was broken, and but now annotation I can see I can do that in case 5-10 minutes are spare. I can do that
because we are already slightly about 15 odd minutes behind schedule already.
Leave it then. Leave it. If you're behind schedule, leave it. Then in case not permitting, I'm not permitting, leave it.
So maybe after my session, if we still have some time, then you can come into it.
Sure. I agree. I do that. No
and
problem.
like what you said, on day 3, it will have that added value as well.
Yeah, that is. Thanks, Captain Anand. It's working now.
Oh, great.
I restarted my PC itself. When I went out, I restarted the PC, and then I think maybe there was some glitch at my end, probably, or maybe Zoom didn't permit me.
Okay.
Because it comes along with the main menu. The Zoom should activate annotation, and Kirtan showed me that it was activated at your end.
Yes, sir. Correct. But again, yeah, that your tempo was lost. I do agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys, we resume again. Can you stop screen share now?
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. A small announcement to all the mentors, directors, and cardinal heads present here of MTG. Please look into for a small notice which has been sent in mentors and directors group on the WhatsApp, and you can put your remarks over there. With this, we start the second session after the break, and I ask Captain Shivangi to do the deliberations and go ahead with the proceedings.
Yes, welcome back again. Very warm good morning to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And what I would be doing out here is we have seen in the past couple of days, yesterday and today, a lot of big things being talked about the training, the e-training that we are looking at. And I would be, in a way, putting things in a nutshell, like I said, to get an idea, overview of what we have done for these 2 days. And like I said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So I would be delivering a lecture to you. Of course, all of you are all gurujans out here, teachers out here. So I don't intend to teach you teaching, but just that, yes, we say it, but we also do it. Okay. So with this, I would just share a screen out here for a moment. So please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's starting up. Yeah, I will see it.
Okay, so overview of eSchool. We have talked about having this e-training. So what I would put across is just like we have had our schools, maritime training institutes, if you want to call it, is focused on that. So it's a school basically, and what all we did in our institutes is what we would like to have again in the e-format. So that's what I would be looking at. My plan for this particular session, it's a 45-minute session, and I would be having 15 minutes for this overview of the e-school, and then I will be giving a live demo presentation for about 30 minutes. So first, when we talk about an e-school, we looked at what is an LMS, a learning management system. So a learning management system is a course management system. It includes features like lessons, materials, quizzes, self-assessment, progress tracking, and learner feedback. One more thing which is very important out here is what our admin does, enrolling candidates, preparing various of their records, discussing it, sending it across to the DE, etc. So all that would become a platform out here on the learning management system. On the other end, we also have our learners. We have our students out there, and our students can typically access it on desktops, laptops, on their phones, and they can do a little bit more than what they actually did in usual school. In the usual school, they went to the classroom and they started learning, but here they can learn at home on these gadgets of theirs, and they can progress individually at their own speed. So the LMS actually also has a lot of learning which a candidate can do on his own. Yes, of course, there are a lot of you who are on small phones and tablets, but preferably when you're doing a good lesson, it's better to be on a larger monitor, as large as possible. So you require first any organization to build a LMS. Again, we have discussed a few of them. I wouldn't be going into the details of that, but just an overview again. So what would an LMS consist of? Blended learning. Blended learning is one of the things which we had a session in October with digital learning. Blended is what we have to go by. Tomorrow, the future, even after COVID, is blended learning. So engaged learning, leveraging technology, geographical independent learning, social learning, flexibility to learners, performance support, extended learning, all this becomes a part of the LMS. But I would be very interested in the first three which I talked about: the blended learning, the engaged learning, and the leveraging technology. So we are going to use technology, more and more technology, even after the COVID situation is over. That's the way to go. And what would one like? There were questions. What do you think is the best, etc. So you have to identify what are your needs, and you choose the LMS. So the LMS that you choose is: does it have a supportive online community? Is it compatible with third-party plugins offered by external developers? We saw that pen being used out there. What is the quality of its user interface? Is the software mobile friendly? That's very important because today a lot of students are on mobiles. What about e-commerce integration and reports, analytics? So all these things will become a part of the LMS. So here are some of the open source LMS. A lot of the maritime institutes are, after the COVID situation, are finding themselves that yes, they have to start building up the LMS. There are some which had already built it up well before that, and I would be lucky to have been using LMS for almost about 11 years now. I was in a couple of ship management companies of a good repute, and we used LMS, but they were not open source, they were in-house. Okay, so some of the ship management companies, they already have been using this extensively. So here are a few of the names. They are the open source, right? So you can go for any one of them. Then the next part, the LMS is not the live one, but here comes the next part which you require to have for an e-school, that is a virtual classroom. I like this picture. I like this picture very much. And this would be an ideal classroom for me. Presently, I'm sitting in front of my laptop and I cannot see any one of you. I cannot see any one of you. I can just see the screen that I'm sharing. But back in my office, where we have a video conferencing, this is the way we do our sessions. Okay, where I have a huge screen, I can see the other participants. I've got, I can share my screen also. I can do work on the screen. I also have a separate whiteboard. I can get up, I can go there, and the others can see. And this is what I would probably be, having an ideal classroom in a MTI, where you already have some space. You can have such installations where the teacher, sitting is not the way we taught. We moved around the class, we went on the blackboard, we came out here, we interacted. I go to the person. Okay, so here you got so many. I go to that person, I actually feel that I'm communicating with that particular person. So this is what I would say a very ideal sort of classroom. Yes, it does require a little bit of investment out there, but then that is much better than having a brick and wall school all over. This is much more inexpensive, I would say. It is an online virtual classroom and online learning environment that allows for live interaction between the tutor and the learners. The most common tools one can find in various virtual classrooms is video conferencing, online and real whiteboard, chats and instant messaging tools, participation controls. So we saw we can mute certain controls of the participant if at all required. Google Meet, like you may see that there is no mute all by the facilitator, but they are coming up with that. They have realized that, and very soon that would be available. Maybe Saurabh can tell a little bit whether it's already down there, but I'm sure it's coming in shortly. And there are breakout rooms, so you can have small teams. They make their own presentations, come back, discuss. So it's pretty much where the community, like a live classroom, comes into play, and we can actually discuss not just one way. Okay, we can have breakout rooms where the candidates discuss. So that's a very good thing to have. And here again, you have got plenty of the video conferencing systems which are available. I've myself used Zoom, I've used Blue Jeans, Google Meet, and I'm sure a lot of you have already used Skype. CMMI, Extra Masters, I happen to be privileged to be a faculty out there, and last year we used Blue Jeans out there. It was a pretty good experience using that. So we have been using these tools, but yes, post the COVID, we have really gone well into it. India has launched, one of the Indian companies has launched Say Namaste. Okay, so it's still in the beta version. It's being tried out. There are a few glitches in the system. What I have got the feedback from Zoom at the moment is the leader, and followed closely by the Google Meet. Uh, MS Teams, what Viraf showed, such a huge store out there for the e-school. They have their MS Teams video conferencing, and like he also mentioned that Skype is also a Microsoft product. Now, MS Team and Microsoft product, they are making it compatible. They have already 45 million users, and they are expanding into that. So, say Namaste would be something which we can look forward when we go ahead. So to summarize, we can say the e-school should be a holistic learning platform with a seamless integration of the learning management system, the live video conferencing sessions that we have, as well as the administration branch. Okay, so once we have all this together, then we can say, yes, we have got a good learning school, the e-school out there. So with that, I would say thank you, and that's a summary of what we can talk about the e-school. I can see some questions which are probably popping up. I will take them at the end of my second part, which we'll have out here, just so that we don't break the flow. I will take all your questions, no issues. Okay. So now I go to the second part. So the second part is where I'm going to be giving a live demo presentation on a particular topic which I've chosen. I kept it a simple topic. It's a significant topic. It's an important topic, risk assessment. But it is kept to a basic level. Okay. Before I go to that particular topic itself, just on a lighter note, generally when I have my sessions, I do use a little bit of humor and to keep it a little bit light. Okay, so this is the situation of teacher. What you see when a teacher presents is just the final touches, but what he has gone back, tons of information that he has gone through to make maybe even a 15-minute presentation. He might have spent 15 days, maybe 15 years. Believe me, it does take some time to prepare one of the very good presentations. So I was told that being teacher is fun. Yes, it was fun, but it is not so funny when you have to do a lot of work. You're interested in that? Fine. To add to that, we have some very funny students who would come, and again, on a light note, if a single teacher can't teach us all the subjects, then how could you expect a single student to learn all the subjects? We all have been students, we all are teachers, and we know what this can be. Having said that, yes, there are some excellent students and there are some mischievous students, naughty students. It takes all to have in the classroom. All the fingers of the hand are not the same. And yes, I promise to behave in class. Why? Because I am the teacher. Okay, so you have to now do as a teacher in a live video conferencing, you have to still perform better because you're getting a recorded, okay, which was not the case when you were in the other classroom with real humans. Okay, so I have been into training and teaching for quite some time, and I can give you three words, very simple words, and I use them regularly. If you want to have a good delivery, never mind anything else. If you just look at these three words, it would sum up most of it. Prepare. Prepare for your lecture. Okay, you cannot be under prepared. You have to prepare, and I'm sure all you gurujans know about it. I'm not going to say that I'm teaching you something new, but these are the things which I go by. Okay, be professional. You have to be professional. You cannot take it casually, especially in the video conferencing systems where there. Yes, humor is good. You require a little bit of a light moment here and there, but it cannot be gross. Okay, and like what we said yesterday, that we cracked a joke in the class and it's all gone in the real class, but here a joke will remain, and it could be sensitive at times. So you have to be very careful. You have to be a little bit diplomatic, but you have to be professional and passionate. You have to do it with passion. If you're not passionate about it, whether you're prepared or professional, you won't be able to have a good delivery. So with this, I will go into my topic. Risk assessment is the topic. And it's based on the bow tie method. Okay, there are various methods available. I'm using this particular concept, and I'm not going to be teaching you. You're all teachers. Probably a few of you know this particular concept and risk assessment much better than I do. So it's a role play. It's a role play that we are going to do at the moment. So you are the candidates, and I take you as junior officers. We are not talking about senior management risk assessment. That's much more. It would take a one-day lecture or maybe even 2 days at times to do risk assessment in entirety. Each company would have their own formats, etc. So I'm not going into the details. Just a demo that how we can use a live session to present things in a very nice way. Back end, he would have really in a e-school on the learning management system, he would have prepared a little bit and he would have come to this particular class. He or she, sorry. Okay, so we would have prepared and we would have come. So you're better there to understand these topics. What's my plan for these 30 minutes? I'm going to give you a overview on the risk assessment, the bow tie method for 20 minutes. I'm going to take a small test on it, so be a bit attentive. It's not going to be difficult, just the important words that I'm going to look at. And then, like I said, yes, we have a Q&A, right? Small question, you can type in which of this is safe. 1, 2, 3, all, none. Is this safe? Is this safe? Is this safe? Okay. And I'm sure all of you would have said none of this is really safe, right? So we do these things, or at least we see these things being done at home, in our outside world, on ships. We are referring to ships mainly. So on ships, a lot of times we do these things. Okay. So here I'm going to play a short video just to highlight a few things about the risk assessment. So give me a moment on this. This gives me an opportunity just to break the monotony. I could have put the video in the PPT itself, but I would like to break, come back, and then share the screen again with you and give you a small video session, just a 2-minute video which will highlight what risk assessment is about and method. Okay, I am playing it. It has started. So at the moment of blank screen, these are some of the challenges one can have in the bit of times. I hope you can see it now, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. See and hear both.
Thank you.
A risk assessment is an integral part of the management of health and safety in the workplace. In simple terms, a risk assessment requires the identification of workplace hazards and an evaluation of the risks they present. It is therefore crucial to understand the difference between a hazard and a risk. A hazard is anything that has the potential to cause an accident, injury, illness, or disease. A risk is the likelihood that a specific hazard will actually result in an accident, injury, illness, or disease occurring. More simply, a hazard is the potential for an unplanned and unwanted event, and a risk is the likelihood the event will occur. Many hazards, which are generally seen as potentially very dangerous, actually present a low level of risk in some situations. For instance, electricity is a potentially dangerous energy source, but in an office environment is generally seen as safe. Conversely, many hazards that are sometimes considered insignificant often lead to accidents and injury. The most common example being the hazards associated with manual handling tasks. The purpose of an overall workplace risk assessment is to establish whether the level of risk arising from workplace activities is acceptable, or whether additional measures need to be taken to control workplace hazards and further reduce or remove unacceptable risks. To conduct a risk assessment of the workplace, certain steps should be followed.
So that was a short video film just to give you insight into risk assessment. Again, I take this opportunity to pop myself in and then again go back to sharing my screen and continue our topic on risk assessment. So, are we back? Can we see the PPT again?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, moving ahead. So, hazards. So, the first thing to understand is about hazards. They are potential or dormant threats, and they are a part of normal day-to-day business. At home, we are doing a lot of cooking nowadays. Okay, assisting our better house also. So there is a danger out there, but it's not necessarily that something untoward is going to happen. So there is a hazard. The gas, the heat is a hazard, but it's not going to have any effect as far as we control it properly. So these are some of the potential hazards: flammable materials, vehicles, radiation, chemicals, heights, raised objects, machinery. All these are hazards. Gravity is a hazard. So if I'm working at a height, there is a chance that I'll fall. Pressure is a hazard. Temperature, high temperatures is a hazard. So those are the hazards. Radiation is a hazard. Okay. And we use these things. Okay. Not all the time do they give rise to undesired consequences. So hazards can lead to undesired consequences if they go out of control or if they were not controlled in the first place. And then they could give rise to a fire, or maybe an explosion. There could be pollution, legal actions, lost time, complaints, okay, toxic gas release. Today itself in Mumbai area where I stay, there was a rumor which was happening that there's some gas release and a lot of people are smelling a lot of things in and around Andheri and Chembur, all these particular areas, Powai, etc. So it could be there. BMC came into action and probably saw that it was from something from RCF and they have plugged that. So, that could be dangerous. Fall in share prices, that's a commercial aspect. But what risk assessment, what we seafarers would really be looking at is the last one, the injury that it can cause to a human. Or, of course, the last thing, what nobody wants is a fatality. Okay, so we don't want these undesired consequences. So hazards, yes, we have to work with them, but we don't require to have these undesired consequences. So there's a risk, correct? So there's a risk. Anybody can type in what is a risk? What would you say is a risk? Just a one-liner at the most. I'll give you 30 seconds for that. What is a risk? How do you say is what is the level of risk? Okay, so some answers coming in out there, but I will go to what I would like to show. This is risk. Okay, risk is in the video it said only likelihood, but I'm sure all of you are aware it's just not the likelihood of the consequence, but it also depends upon the severity of the consequence. So it is the likelihood into the severity. So it's a product. It's a product of likelihood of the consequence and the severity of the consequence. So there's a simple risk matrix that we can have, and based on that we have a risk rating. So here I put up a risk rating matrix. On the x-axis you got severity, on the y-axis you got the likelihood. And you can see the severity: negligible, minor, moderate, major, catastrophic. And each is given a number: negligible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till catastrophic. Same way for likelihood, here is from down to up: rare, unlikely, possible, likely, almost certain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we just multiply. Okay, if I feel the risk is moderate and likely, then it is a 12, a 4 into 3. So I get a risk rating. I get a 12 and it's in the yellow zone. Okay. Again, risk rating matrices are different for different companies. I've just taken one particular thing. So as far as you're in the green, it's okay. It's okay to do that particular job. You cannot go with zero risk. A risk can never be zero. You have to take something which is tolerable. So here what we say is we limit our levels to 6. If it is in the yellow, yes, we require to take additional measures. If it is red, we require to take many more additional measures. First come to yellow and then come to green. Only those jobs where we say the risk rating is in the green, we can go ahead with the jobs. Very important thing out here, gentlemen, is that all these ratings are perceptions. It depends upon the person who is doing that particular rating. Okay, there's no fix. Yes, there are certain guidelines. Each company will give you what is the value of a major or a minor, or what is the possibility, etc. But then still it is a perception, because the job has not yet been done. We are planning. We don't know what exactly is going to be the real outcome of that particular severity or the likelihood. Okay, we have to be realistic. I'll give you a very small example. In Southwest Monsoon, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had informed one of the ships to do a RA, Southwest Monsoon, in Mumbai Anchorage. And he was supposed to launch a live boat. You know what was his risk rating? His risk rating was 0. No severity, no likelihood. And he did the job. And of course, I'm sure most of you would have guessed what would have happened. The boat went adrift. Okay. Luckily, there was no casualty. That would have been still worse. So please don't do a risk assessment just for the heck of doing a risk assessment. It is a very good tool. Use it realistically. And here we require to evaluate it on 3 aspects: the injury aspect to the people, the pollution aspect to the environment, and the damage to property, to the asset. So if we can do it on these 3 levels, then we can be more specific of what are the measures that we require to take. So why do a risk assessment at all? So human error. So most of the accidents we know are caused by human error. This rat is a smart little mouse. He has to take a cheese, but he's prepared for it. He knows what are the risks involved. So here is a risk assessment tool to avoid these sort of accidents and to contain the hazards such that we do not have undesired consequences. Right? So a risk assessment policy. A company would have a risk assessment policy as per the HSQE manual, okay, and it would be required out there. There are certain ISM requirements. There are the flag state requirements. There are commercial interest requirements like TMSA, etc. Are you required to do risk assessment? And then we have to bring the risk to an acceptable level. And the last word that I've popped in just now is alap. I'm sure some of you would definitely know the meaning of it. And that's a very good word if you have to do risk assessment. Alap, as low as reasonably possible, as low as reasonably practical. Okay, those are pretty close words. So if you come into that, so you'd be in that green zone. So you come to acceptable levels and then go ahead with the job. So this is the bow tie method in a nutshell. So we have looked at bits and parts. Now we put that into the bow tie method to control the release of hazard and reduce or prevent the worst case scenario. So this is how the bow tie hazard would look. So you have the threats on one side, you got the top event in the center, and that we expand it to the worst case scenario. So I'm putting up a few words out here. On the left hand side, you have the hazards. Then you put in your existing mitigation measures. Okay, the barriers, what we would call, if you all know the Swiss cheese model, the barriers, we put it out here. And still, if at all that particular hazard has not come into control, then we call it as a top event. These are all technical terms from the bow tie method, gentlemen. So may not be familiar at one go straight away. So IRR, so that's what we get in the yellow, what I've just put up, IRR, the initial risk rating. So I make an initial risk rating. And if that's not in the green, then I go to the right hand side and find out what is the worst case scenarios. And for them, I put the mitigation, recovery, emergency procedures in place. After having done that, I find out RRR, that is the residual risk rating. And here, after having done these additional measures, if my RRR comes less than 6 as per the risk matrix what I had put, then I can go ahead with the job. Yes, there are various other barriers which a company could put, like you have to take office approval or go even 2 approvals at times required, etc. Okay, so I'm not going into the nitty-gritties or the specifics of a company. So here I do the end of it. I generally, what I prefer doing is after I've said all the things I've said, I summarize. So here I'm summarizing the risk assessment in 4 simple steps. First, you require to identify the hazard. You're going to do a job and you can categorize that job, navigation, cargo, ops or machinery or generic. You can also categorize it as is it a critical job, is it a new job, is it a non-routine job? These are the types of jobs which require a risk assessment to be done formally. Everyone does a risk assessment even for routine jobs. Okay, you're going to do chipping on deck, nobody just goes there and starts chipping. He puts his chipping goggles out there. So identify the hazards. Then you do the initial part, the left hand side of the bow tie, where you put in your measures and find out what is the initial risk rating. If that is not sufficient, find out what could be the worst case scenarios. And for that, you then put your mitigating recovery measures, emergency measures, additional measures. They are put in place and you find out what is the residual risk rating. And if now it is in green, please go ahead with the job. So that's risk assessment. That's the bow tie method for doing risk assessment. Thank you. And I'm going to have a small little test, which I told you in the beginning. So if you're ready for the test, I will start it shortly. The test is
Shivangi, is this a test for your session or is it test for the entire thing?
No, it is not for the entire thing. This is just my class. So my class is going to have a test. Okay. The day 2 test will follow after this.
Okay.
Right. So I am stopping the share and I'll go to the polling. I hope, gentlemen, you have had a decent idea about risk assessment. Like I said, I cannot do a risk assessment in 30 minutes, but just to give you an overview, right? So I'm going into the polling. So tech
You want me to
team,
launch?
yes, I cannot see my questions. Can you
Okay.
please run them? Yeah, generally I would have, risk assessment. Risk assessment is an important tool to enhance safety and to minimize the human error. Each question I would be giving 1 minute, so that's generally more than sufficient.
30 seconds is good enough.
Yeah, I just keep it window open. If I get most of this, I will stop the poll. You can see 40 seconds, still some answers coming in. More or less done out there. Yeah, okay. So can we stop the poll and show the results, please? Oh, yeah, that was expected. Okay, so it is an important tool. So everybody agrees on that. Thanks for that. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Right.
Okay, which was the method that was explained for the risk assessment? Five more seconds before we close this one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so they're the results. I'm sure somebody would have pressed the wrong buttons. Okay, so somebody wrote a pant and shirt and hands and gloves, rings and chains. Some answers out there. Yeah, okay.
This is to bring in the humor, Shivangi.
Yes,
Everybody knows
exactly.
it is bow tie.
Yes,
Somebody is bringing
exactly.
in the humor.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where you can connect. This is where you can engage. So yes, the bow tie method. Yeah, thanks. Okay, let's go for the next one. So RA should be performed for what type of jobs? I mentioned this. So only one correct answer. So read all of them and then answer, please. Five more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so all the answers are correct, but the more correct answers all of the above, because what happens generally in this, the first answer you get critical jobs, you hit it because that sounds very pertinent. Okay, but it was about critical job, non-routine jobs, new jobs, all of them. So most of you got that, right? That not only shows that I'm a good teacher, but you're a good student as well. Okay, just on a lighter note, I'm sure all of you know about this. Okay, please, next one. Okay, so the first step in doing RA is to identify the worst case scenario, true, false. Okay, so 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we have the results? Oh, the next question has exposed my teaching. Okay, so the first step in RA is not to identify the worst case scenario. That's the third step almost. Okay, the first step in RA is to identify the hazard, gentlemen. Okay, I have to identify the hazard, put the barriers, find out what else is to be done, then what comes the worst case scenario, and then get the final risk rating. So it was false. It was false. Okay, I think the last question. Which part of the consequence is taken into account in the risk rating matrix? So there are two or more. See what is the correct answer and then answer, please. Yes, there are some who are doing on YouTube and they are sending it out there. So, okay, 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So here are the results. Most of you, 90% said both of the above. Yes. Generally, again, what happens in a poll is you go for the first one. Yeah, severity sounds good. Likelihood also sounds good, but it is both. Like we saw, it's the product of the severity and the likelihood of the consequence, which gives me the value for my risk. So that was a good session. I would say it's up to you to really tell me how good it was. What did you like about it in one line at the most, and if there was any scope for improvement in this particular session. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, Shivangi. We can stop. Okay, it's done. Before we go in for the test of the day, that is all the sessions. Today we had a demo presentation of XP Pen. Then we have a detailed presentation on MS Teams. Then finally gave us a presentation of how to do a live lecture on Zoom using the tools of Zoom. This was not a lecture on risk assessment. He chose the topic as risk assessment and he gave how a topic can be integrated into Zoom and how this platform can be used. So do not get it wrong. This still is train the e-trainer, not do a risk assessment class. With this, I will ask Viraf and Shivangi to start with the proceedings of test of day 2 and then followed with the instructions for day 3, which of course I think you want to give it in the end after the certificates and feedback is over.
Yes, that's right. So, Captain Kumar is the one who's going to start with the test. So, Captain Kumar, over to you for the test for the day 2.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for the active participation. As we all have informed in the beginning that we'll be conducting a small test. As teachers, we give a lot of advice to our students, but the moment we say we have to undergo a test, I think there are a lot of inhibitions. No worries, gentlemen. This is not to test your knowledge. It is a test which we are conducting to understand how effective we were able to engage you. So please give your full-hearted preparation to attend this test. And at the end of the test, a certificate will be generated and it will be sent to your email ID. And I could see there are a lot of chats about intellectual property. So it's if Google was thinking that they had to protect the intellectual property notice, this has been done. The test what I'm going to give you on the Google sheet, I just learned it a couple of days ago. Okay, I'll just put up the link to you all, and people who are watching
Okay,
on YouTube.
we can first ask the tech team to freeze chat. So you can give the link on the chat. Please freeze chat. Nobody can chat now. and while it is being frozen, you are getting prepared. I'm informed that as in the games, they say cheat. So somebody was leaking the cheat code. My son, who was watching from his laptop, he noticed it, and so did Gyanendra Singh. Gyanendra Singh, you are there? Captain Gyanendra Singh. Please unmute and do express what was happening in that polling test. And this is a learning thing for us. Unmute Gyanen. This is one of the things which we told in the netiquettes. And please follow the rules and don't leak the answers. However, this gave us an opportunity, or rather food for thought, that how to prevent that in actual sessions or classrooms. Please go ahead, Captain Kumar.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just putting this link in the chat. You can just click it and please answer this, and please do give your valuable feedback for our improvement also. People who are watching it on YouTube, you have to just type out this whatever is the link. Yeah, the form is there. You can please.
Yes, we got it. We got it, and I have pressed it. It is working.
Thank you.
I haven't received it, sir. The chat box is disabled.
Chat box is no. Chat box is not disabled. You cannot write anything, but you see there is a link over there.
Okay.
You have a chat box, and you can see a link over there. Just press the link, and it will open up the exam.
Link is not visible.
Okay, if link is not visible, Captain Kumar, paste it 5 times. Means you keep pasting it. Once you have done, paste it second time. After 30-second, paste again. Do it 5 times. Or tech team can do it. If yours is also disabled, tech team.
I hope just pasting it again.
Yeah, it's come.
The lady who said not visible, is it visible now? Okay, your 10 minutes starts now.
The language is not English. When you go to the link, Captain Nigam, can you hear me? Captain Mittal here.
Yes.
When you go to the link, it is giving you the direction, what is your name. But when you type your name, the earlier words which was telling you to write your name here is not disappearing. So it is overlapping. And questions के answer not clicking at this moment. On the link
I think what you have done is you have clicked, you have opened 2 documents at a time. But Kirtan, can you just come in and explain? Or Anand, can you explain?
Sir, now when so many people access the Google link, right, immediately, the Google also will take some time. The server probably will get overloaded. But if you try it after about a couple of minutes, it should become okay.
Okay, fine.
Because even I also tried, the form is opening up well in my system. Because we almost have about 400 participants here. So when all of us access the same link, then.
So it is not taking as yet. So you
Probably will give you more time also, sir. You can later on fill it up if at all there is some technical glitches. People were able to fill up the mail. It is an automatic mail link. It will come to us. If you cannot fill it up immediately, you can take some time to fill up.
Link is not visible, sir.
We'll again post it.
Yeah, I only made you host.
The chat box, please type it, and then you can go to this link. People watching on YouTube can do this also. I can see so far we have received about 72 responses. Please keep filling in, and we are getting the responses. I think there are more than about 300 participants here.
Myself, I am still stuck. It is not accepting.
Sir, please look at the screen. You have a link. Please type it onto your. You open a browser. Type this. Just click that. It will take to your Gmail. Sign in with your Gmail ID, and then you can start filling up that.
I don't have Gmail ID, sir.
Yeah, I also have a Yahoo account. How? Because it asks for the sign in with the
Yes.
Gmail. And this link, I'm not able to. When I click, it doesn't. Nothing is happening, and even I'm not able to copy it.
You should have a Gmail ID, sir. If you can create one later. This was created based on Google Forms.
Yeah,
so you can please create a Gmail ID, and later on you can do it. If you don't have a Gmail ID, possibly it is a little difficult now.
But why are you not able to copy this link with the right-clicking the mouse?
You have to double click on that, sir. You want to copy it somewhere?
Yeah.
No, from the screen you cannot copy it. You have to just type it out in your
No,
Google, in any of the browsers.
But by double clicking also nothing is happening. It is just nothing is happening. It makes the screen big and small. That's all.
No, sir. This screen you cannot double click. It is just a Zoom screen. You need to type out, sir. Please type out.
Can this link be put on the chat so that we can copy from there?
It's there on the chat, sir.
No,
it's already on the chat.
Chat is.
So the link is there in the chat, and you can copy paste it, or you can just double click on the link in the chat, and it should open up.
Captain Kumar, can you please repost the link, please?
Yeah, sure, sir.
The link has gone a little off in the chat.
It's in Internet Explorer rather than with
My
Google.
link opened, but again it closed on its own.
Okay, gentlemen, there's no problem. If anybody is facing any issues, you can just write in to the email ID, and we'll give you another platform to complete the assessment. There's no issue on that.
We have received 189 responses.
Hello. Captain Kumar.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Actually, for me, I submitted the questionnaire, but after that, it is showing some to select some images, but I'm not able to see the image, and because of that, the verification is not possible.
Yeah, probably it's a security feature in your particular sponsor. You please click it again and select the images, whatever it is saying, it's a security feature added. It will give you another image, then you can look at it. Probably you're on a mobile, it's a little difficult.
Yeah, I'm on mobile.
Yeah, you can say, you just click it, sir, it will give you one more image. It's a security feature which has been added.
Okay. Thank you.
You can send the link on the email. Send the link on the email.
Hey, Kumar sir, Captain sir.
Please send the link on the email.
Yes, okay, we will do that.
Sir, question number 2, you should have given multiple answers because you are asking us to select. We have selected only one and giving wrong. So please, you can look into that.
Thank you very much for your feedback, sir. We'll take it into account. I'm sure all of you agree that it's all a learning experience. We learn from students and we learn from teachers. Now here is a platform of all Gurujans. I'm sure that you all must be having a lot of valuable feedback to give us, including the questions what we have framed. Please do tell us. We will amend things accordingly.
Kumar, can you please have a look at question 6?
Some of us have been technologically challenged, I suppose. So it's time to realize that and learn a little further. It's been 2 days of wonderful interactive sessions, and I really appreciate and thank each of the instructors. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It has been wonderful experience sharing this platform and learning a lot of new things. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, Mr. Singh, thank you so much.
How could I correct my telephone number?
You will have to re-register.
No, it's only in that examination time.
Have you already submitted the forms?
Yeah, I have done it.
Do it again. Do that examination again, and we will remove one of it, and you can send a WhatsApp to me. Which one is your correct number?
Sure, thank you.
Exam, sir.
Any improvement exam allowed, sir? Improvement. Yeah, I'm getting that feel that I'm in a pre-C class.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It was a wonderful experience to undergo this 2 days training. Really impressed. Please keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pandit. Are you a member of MTG?
Yeah, I'm going to be.
Thank you, Mr. Pandit.
Yes, sir.
We need people like you.
Thank you, sir.
Can I say something?
Yes, please, go ahead.
No, firstly, this was very informative. Very well organized also. Is it possible for me just to show a few things? One thing?
Yes, please. Well, this session, as the test is going on, is also a feedback session. Can we take him? Can we give the co-host rights to Mr. Shravan Rewari, ARI?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Done, sir, done.
Yeah, sure, it's yours.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. So I just wanted to just share with you, some experience.
Shravan, first of all, thank you so much. And something coming from you and you attending this is a feather in our cap. Thank you so much.
No, sir, nothing. So we, for the last couple of years, we've been analyzing technologies, all our pros and cons, merits, demerits, ranging from Microsoft, Google, what Amazon does back end, the Zooms, and Skype, now is Microsoft. within the Microsoft framework. Yeah, sorry, it got muted, I think. So there's a whole now race within the big players of entering this or whatever, furthering their market share in terms of video conferencing systems and e-learning systems, etc. Ranging from Microsoft, then Google, then Skype, which is now Google, Microsoft Teams, etc. So, and obviously there are learning management systems which allow you to organize your schedules and your content and things like that. So I was purely, looking at a few things from a compliance perspective, which is followed internationally also. And I think some part of them are there in the circular which is issued. I don't remember the date, but 19 of 2020 for provisional running of theoretical based courses. So I just thought I'll just show, how some things are being done currently. I'll just share a screen if I can. So is this visible? No.
Yes, sir, visible.
Yes.
So this is actually taking, this is attendance, but it's also something what is called presence. So attendance is a checkbox where you say person is there, yes or no. And attendance is something. Presence is something where you're completely sure the person is around, attentive, and is a living thing. So this is a snapshot which is taken, which we are using currently. And as you can see, it takes multiple frames which are triggered by an intelligent background. And so this is how attendance is being taken by the colleges. Now, this is an example of attendance where he's not really there in the first camera frame. This intelligently takes multiple shots to ensure that the person is there. So this student is there, and now you can see he's appeared in the second frame, and then this is what he's doing in the third frame, and the fourth frame, fifth frame, etc. You can also gauge using analytics how much attention the person is actually paying. You can see what people have on their desks. Now, this is difficult to say whether he's actually concentrating or is he bored, but he's concentrating at some point. There are people who are very, very focused. What you see in front is a keyboard. So this person has, besides the whole hardware pickup, which people have filled up and doing their student profiles or their on the DGS systems, which is run by CDAC. So from the frames that we saw, we'll select a couple of frames. It's all automatic. It's all one click. You'll select a few frames. You select one legitimate frame of the individual, and one could actually then choose it with, let's say, another frame, and this will release and tell you whether it's the same person actually who's attending the class. So this is passed. So this is with one click. We are all aware of. So it actually tells you. So it matches it online. So you don't have to go and stand in front of a box or a CAS machine or something like that to do an identification. Besides that, I could do interesting things to actually see what the person is doing in the class while he's attending a virtual class. So I could identify the scenario, and this tells me that this gentleman, whom we already recognized earlier, is reading a book, and he has a book in his hand. If one was giving a test, then and we could scan his desk through multiple devices, including simple devices like the handphone. Then I can say with certainty, the reasonable amount of certainty, he's actually got a cheat sheet. So I think in good humor, this was being mentioned during the chat session. But I can say that this person has got a book, he's got a cheat sheet with him, and he's got handwriting. So which if the SOP says that you don't have these things during an internal assessment, then you're not supposed to use it. I'm sorry, this is me without my background. As you can see, we've got multiple cameras running right now. You have me probably in the Zoom window. You also can see me. I've been pushed to a corner of my house, and I analyze myself. And when I analyze myself as if I was in the class or doing an assessment, then I can say that I'm a human, I'm a person, I have a door behind me, and there's a good face here, and I can see that I have my glasses on, and this gets analyzed. Now, but if I was doing a test, and I was scanning and doing this automatically like you saw previously, where you're taking multiple frames at different points of time in time domain, and I was doing something like this, then I can say that I have a cell phone with me, and therefore I'm trying to cheat the system because I got my phone on. Then you said that I'm doing an assessment, internal or external, that you should not have your phones on, not WhatsApp the questions to each other and cheat the system. So that's essentially and this particular case was of good interest to me because when we took the sort of live shot, the individual was actually not in the frame when the shot was being taken. So this is the interesting case that you can see with due respect. So similarly, our participant has been in the seminar and we can show it. So I won't take any more time. I just thought I'd thank you for. So it's more compliance related actually. The automation cycle. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Sean. It was a pleasant surprise. We had not planned it, but nevertheless, this was a very, very valuable input which you gave to all of us. It was like icing on the cake. With this, Captain Kumar, please go ahead with the process of certification and tell them the instructions how the certificates they will get the certificates. And the test, we will keep it open till 1700 today, just like yesterday. Yesterday's test is not linked with your certification, but today's test is linked with your certification. So your attendance and completion of today's test is your presence, as the jargon which just now Shravan gave us. It is not attendance, but it is the presence. So with this presence, I hand over to Captain Kumar to tell you about certification.
Thank you, sir. And so far we have received about 350 responses. I can see there are 315 participants. I believe the rest must be from the YouTube channel. They must be filling it up. As it's available till 1500, I think you can take your time.
1700.
1700, 5 p.m. Please take your time, fill up this form. The certificates will be auto-generated, sent to your email ID of the registered email ID in this particular form. Please click it. Some of you may not get it in your primary email. In your Gmail account, there are 2-3 other, this one like a social media is there, or maybe junk mail. Please do go to that and check. If it is still not available, send us a mail on the MTG email ID, which is mentioned in that particular form. We'll email the certificate to you. Thank you so much.
That the email ID is maritimepg@gmail.com. Okay, so that is about the certification. With this, I call upon our Secretary General, Captain Kamal Chadha, to deliver the vote of thanks. Uh, Now I come to know what is the secret of his youth. He's frozen in time. Okay, Mr. Vakil, please take over as his backup.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, for this two-day session workshop which we conducted. Thanks to right from the chief guest and Mr. Ashish Wankre yesterday, and all the speakers who were there. Mr. Gaurav, who did yesterday, Girdhar, and today we had yesterday we had also Captain Kumar, Captain Nigam. All the three speakers spoke well, and today we had Captain Shivangi, Captain Viraf, and Dr. Surinder. So all the speakers did a fantastic job, and certainly again Mr. Shravan, who came as icing in the cake. Thanks for coming in. It was also a very good learning experience for each of us who have been in training. Every day is a new day of learning. What we have been doing it for years, we thought we knew a lot, but then it's every day we find something new is coming across. These last 2 days have been a great learning experience for each of us. We have seen a lot of feedbacks, and certainly thanks to each of you who have been here. The participants, without the participants, there is no event is complete. So we had a good number of participants yesterday as well as today. Over 350 this YouTube in this channel itself, Zoom, and plus we had on YouTube of Marax, HIMT, and MTG. So certainly thanks to each of you. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry about it, but then it was a great event. Thank you. Over to you, Kapil.
Gentlemen, that was Mr. Sanjeev Vakil, our Cardinal Head for South India, MTG Cardinal Head South India. And I see our Secretary General is back. Kamal, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Sorry. Sorry for that glitch. Just when you are about to speak, something can go wrong. But thank you, Mr. Vakil, for quickly taking over. You have mentioned all the important people. I will just add a few who we should not be missing. We have several people here who are attending from abroad as well. And definitely, I would like to thank Mr. Charles Wami, who is the CEO of Charkin, Nigeria. And thank you very much, sir. Not, I should say, Dr. Charles Wami. Thank you so much for being with us. Yes, yesterday we had Mr. Wankere, and he did a brilliant question and answer for us. Also, I would like to point out that yes, Mr. Shravan Rewari was a surprise package today, and very, very nice of him to come in and add some information to it. Thank you, Shravan, brilliant. We have some attendees from Singapore and Dubai as well. So the long list of names, but thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies, for being with us. Have I missed anyone? I don't think so. Yes, I must thank the HIMT team who has done a wonderful job of all the backup and the tech support they have provided us. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, and the young Kirtan and Captain Anand Subramaniam. Sorry, the president hasn't been thanked enough. The president, Captain Nigam, he is a Kashti Bhushan, and he has been the leading light really in this entire thing. Not only in these sessions we've had, and there are more coming up. He will tell you about the ones that are coming up. We don't want you to go away without knowing what is next on our agenda. And please do become members of MTG. It is only a very inexpensive thing to put in, but the benefits are tremendous. And this will be your greatest opportunity to give back to the industry all that we have received in abundance, I must say. So thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you in advance for becoming members. And I will let Prabhat come in quickly and say a few words about what is going to follow from here on. Thank you, Prabhat.
Thank you, Kamal. So regarding the advanced course, all those who have already did an EOI, that is the expression of interest for the advanced course, may continue to stay here. Even if you have not done an EOI, if you are interested to know about the advanced course, you can continue to stay here. Others who are free to leave and go for lunch, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy your Sunday. So, gentlemen, we saw from 250, it started when I started speaking at 9:30. We went up to 396. That was on this platform. See, especially when it was just for trainers, I think it was an excellent response. And also similar numbers, 500 plus was on YouTube. That's what I was told. Now we have already 240. I believe around at least half of them have shown expression of interest. Others want to know. Uh, the proceedings for advanced course will be headed not by me, but our MTG secretary, Captain Sandeep Shivangi, with two important members playing a vital role of explaining further to you about Google Suite and also Microsoft Teams, as it was told in the basic course that they'll go much more advanced in that. I'll play a small role of introducing some more apps and obviously the general administration and as Kamal said, to spearhead the whole thing. But Captain Shivangi will be the director and producer. So over to you, Captain Shivangi. Can you go ahead and explain?
Yeah, thanks, Prabhat. And thanks a lot to everybody for having participated in these 2 days. And thank you very much for showing your interest in the next 2 days as well. So that shows the amount of good response to this particular program that we are running primarily for our marine faculty, right? So what I would like to highlight out here, what we are going to do in the 2 days is one aspect, but how do we do it? Okay, so what we are going to do is Captain Kumar is going to send out another form uh, for the advanced course, and we will have to fill up this form and send it back in the next couple of days. In the next couple of days, that is 8th and 9th. So we will take the application forms up till the 9th. The course for the advanced TET is on 13th and 14th, 13th being the Saturday and 14th being the Sunday. So that is again keeping in sync that people are working and you have only the Saturday and Sundays available to you. And generally we would again be keeping the similar time of 9:30 to 12:30. So that is what we plan to do. 2 days from now, you would have the time to fill in the form, and it's of course a paid session, and the fees are 4,000 rupees for non-members and 50% discount to the already existing members. Right, so it is on first come first serve basis. So we have got maximum of 40, we have got maximum 40 for each of our advanced batch. Okay, so that we can give personal attention to them. So that is the reason why we plan to have just maximum of 40. So we will take it on first come first serve basis. But having said that, even if we have more than that and your name probably comes in the second batch or the third batch, we will definitely conduct it. Okay, so please fill in the form which Captain Kumar would be sending across shortly. What we would be doing in these 2 days is again a 3 hour session on day three, where we will be talking more about the details of the Google platform and the MS Teams platform. You may have already seen in the first 2 days is that Google platform is also pretty extensive beginner, and you cannot become a pro within half an hour or even within a week's time. It takes a lot of time, effort to really go in. We give you the overview, and here when we do it on the extended class, what we'll have next week is we'll give you a little bit more insight in how exactly to go it, because there were a lot of feedback that we are going too fast. Yes, obviously we have got a limitation of time. This was just to give you these 2 days was to give you an overview of what all exists. Okay, and then you can take off. I don't think you even require the advanced course to really do it. But I'm very happy, in spite of that, people are willing to have a look at that. So good. Uh, After we have had a good look at the Google Suite, we will also be doing on the MS Teams. Again, we have got Google Suite by Saurabh Girdhar. These are the people who are already using it. Okay, and they can give you a very good hands-on experience what exactly how to go about doing it. They have already got the issues. I had attended a webinar by Harvard Business School, and believe me, they were finding difficulties in setting up their own systems because they have also had this particular COVID situation cropping up on them immediately, and they have to also innovate and upgrade and upscale themselves. So same thing is what we are all doing. And let me tell you, India is doing a beautiful job. You Gurujans are doing a beautiful job, and we are going really online. Okay, so Google Suite, MS Teams, what Captain Prabhat Nigam said just now, MS Team by Captain Viraf, what you saw today. Prabhat would show a few more tools or apps out there. And then what we did in the TOTA, where we prepared a session and presented it. And that's where the assessor can say, okay, you can improve on this, you can make this a little bit better. Just a few tips and this. Nothing to point fingers at you to say, but to make it better. I think we are all mature people. We understand what we are talking about. So we'll be having live presentation. You choose your topic, you give your presentation. That's what we'll be having mainly for the day 4. So that's putting up again in a nutshell. That's a good catchy word. What we would be having for the advanced 2 days course.
Thank you, Captain Shivangi. Just to add to what you have said, after you people have registered, the email which you will get will have the details and some kind of links and study material. That is, once you have paid the fees, you will get that. And from there, you will be able to choose your assignment for day 4. For example, if say Captain Kamal Chadda is attending a session and he is from the nautical side, so he goes over there to select his assignment for day 4, which will be a 10-minute presentation. So he goes and clicks nautical. Then he is given a choice of subjects, whether you want to do a presentation on stability, navigation, meteorology, naval arc. So whatever he chooses, and then say, for example, if he chooses navigation, so then he writes his title below, I want to do a presentation on PZX triangle. So he has his choice. We will be mentoring him, telling him how to do that presentation either on Google Drive or MS Teams. Then everything, whatever he is learning from here and practicing over the week, means until the class starts on Saturday, he will do the practice. When the class starts, he will have a recap and he will tell, okay, this was what I found difficult. I could not understand this. More so, he will also be in touch with our faculty throughout the week. The faculty will then tell him, while they are explaining MS Teams or Google, that what has to be there, what features are there. So on day 4, when he finally gives his presentation, he is well prepared to give the presentation. There, the faculty will assess him that, okay, Captain Kamal Chadda, you need to practice this one more or do this thing more. And we are completely into hand-holding. As our motto goes, we want to grow rich by sharing our wealth. and our only wealth is knowledge. So we want to give this wealth to everyone. We will do hand holding throughout till the time you feel that you can do your own setup, you can do your own classroom, and go ahead with this e-trainer possibilities. Thank you so much. Anybody who has something to say, please raise your hand.
Sir, I'll just put up the form for the people who have not registered initially. If at all you want to register, that is for the 2 days course. I'm just putting this form link I've given. You can copy it to wherever you have a Word file or something. Later on, you can fill it up also, or you can just click and fill it up. For the people who have not registered initially for this seminar, the workshop, wherein if you want to do the advanced courses, please fill up this form. We will get database, and then we will get back to you. Thank you.
Okay, so the form which you see, the link rather which you see in chat is for TET Advanced. TET Basic is finished. Now this is for TET Advanced. So all those who are interested, copy paste or save it, just click and save it, and you can go ahead. And further, this is also linked to the registration link, wherein you had said that yes, you want to do the advanced course. So that also is a backup system, how you can do. In the worst case scenario, you can send me a WhatsApp. My number is in the RSVP of the branding. So you can send me a WhatsApp, and we are a group of out-of-box thinkers where we are designing this whole thing. And I will share it in that group, and action will be taken promptly. And by Monday, you will have everything ready.
Yeah, there are some messages regarding certificate issue. So we are waiting till 5 p.m. That is 1700. Then the certificates will come to your mail auto-generated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll, since it is already nearly 1 o'clock, I'll just wait for 5 hands up if at all they are there, and let them speak.
Sir, namaste, Ankushpa.
Yes, namaste. Please go ahead.
Sir, how much mark required for clear the study?
Your intention of appearing in the test is good enough.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
But you should attempt. You should attempt. Even if you are getting 0, no problem. You should attempt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sure nobody will get 0. Everybody will pass. Don't worry about the passing percentage.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. This is Venkatesan from Pondicherry, Sri Chakra. So it's a great session, sir. As of we are as a mariner, it's really a new domain because our lectures really it is very helpful to us to learn various tools and various methodologies, free software. It's really great, sir. Very great pleasure to be the part of the things which is underneath the course. Thank you very much, sir. Much more to come. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. This floor, please, gentlemen, is open only for queries. Your remarks you can send on the WhatsApp because we have to close for lunch now. So any more queries, please?
So regarding the advanced course, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Mr.
I could not do
Ramakrishnan,
the test yesterday.
Mr. Ramakrishnan, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Wonderful session. We have been attending all these days. And in advance, actually, when we are giving in the laptop or something, again, you may be giving the hands-on training. So whether it is better to be combined with the mobile and like that, so that we can listen to the mobile and do it on the laptop like that. Because in the same system,
Mr. Ramakrishnan, I'm very glad to, Mr. Ramakrishnan, very glad to see the enthusiasm even after so many years. You can't hear? Can you hear? Can you hear? Okay, I'm very glad to see your enthusiasm, and I have seen your seniority. I've just added you in MTG group, but it's really very heartwarming to see this enthusiasm. As I said yesterday, आप भी यहाँ हैं, हम भी यहाँ हैं. World is here. Nobody is running away. Take it easy. All instructions you will get on the email. Yes, go ahead, Mr. Bahadur Singh.
I could not do the test yesterday. Is it possible to complete today?
Yes, no problem. As I said in the very beginning, Your certification is not linked with your yesterday's test. It is linked with your today's test. However, you can do the test of yesterday also.
So can you
Okay, now
kindly
today
give
I
us
have done
the
all
link
right.
again for today's test? Kindly give us the link again.
Okay, Captain Kumar, paste it again. Yes, Dr. Medha Joshi, go ahead, please.
So, because of certain webinars which I have to attend in the coming weekend, on the coming weekend, or maybe the weekend after that also, I would not be able to do the advanced course then. Would there be a possibility that this advanced course continues further? Or how do I
Yes,
go about
yes,
it?
yes, Dr. Medha Joshi, as you heard, Shivangi, that we are making the list of 40 candidates per batch on first come, first serve basis. In your application, if you will suggest that I am not available this week, and we will do only all these advanced courses will happen only on Saturday and Sunday. So you can choose your badge. Captain Kumar, what we can do is next 3 badges dates can be made available and let them choose.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure, sir. We'll send an email with all these details.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
So I'm Bharat Bhushan,
Yes, sir.
and just want to confirm, like, why I'm getting the feeling this is being only for the deck officers and not for engineers. What is it like that?
How did you get that feeling, sir? There are the
Maybe today
engineers
the
who are
first
doing the
time.
presentation.
Today I attended the first time, so that's how I got the feeling. So I don't know. Probably
Sir,
that could be taken
sir,
care of.
let me tell you about MTG. MTG is a melting pot where masters, chief engineers, electrical officers. See, I am a master mariner president. Our vice president is ex-electrical officer and chief engineer. The
Yes, sir.
secretary, one of them is a media man, of course, master mariner. The other is a master mariner. Our mentors, half of them are engineers. So it is nothing like deck officers and engineers. And let us stop this myth of deck officers and engineers, please. We are all merchant navy officers. Yes.
Great, great.
Prabhat,
Good to hear that. I'm
just
sorry for having that perception.
just,
Thanks a lot.
yeah, I had this in the chat also. I would like to clarify, to add to what Prabhat has said. We have had 3 presenters who were engineers. Dr. Surender is an engineer. Saurabh Girdhar, who presented yesterday on Google, is an engineer. The person who was to do another session today, Pradeep, is also an engineer. So please, let's debunk that
And
particular
our
myth.
surprise speaker, Shravan Rewari, is an engineer.
And
That's
also
true. I knew about him.
And
I knew about
Shravan
him. I'm
Rewari,
sorry.
by the way,
and
I did not mention ARI and HIMT, both headed by engineers, are our corporate members of MTG.
also Sanjeev Vakil, who is playing a very big role behind the scene in this entire presentation, is also an engineer.
I know about him, sir, because he happened to be earlier with our shipping company, Bernard Schulte Ship Management.
Correct.
So, if I'm not
So
mistaken, he's the same guy.
yes, yes. So we have a lot of engineers. It's a pretty equally balanced bike.
All right, sir. I'm sorry to make everybody kind of go against
No,
me,
no,
but I'm sorry for
No,
that.
sir.
it's
No,
good
sir.
that you clarify. It's good for clarification.
Sir, I often say in my class, the questions are never stupid. The answers are stupid.
You got a good humor, which is required at the end of the session for sure. Thank you very much, and it was definitely very good. And I would like to kind of attend to it regularly. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
As yes, somebody wants to say something. Please go ahead.
Sir, engine room is unmanned, no?
Okay, UMS. Very good. Very good. Okay. As
So I
I said
requested the
yesterday
test link
also.
again. I
Okay.
requested for the test
Yeah.
link again on the chat. Please put it.
Okay, Kumar, you do the needful. I see a very good friend of mine, very senior person from Cochin, Georgie George. Can you unmute and come on video live, sir?
Yeah, I've been attending both the classes. It has been extremely informative, and I wish to what do you say, go further into this. But next week and the week after that, I've got a few classes in the Institute of Marine Engineers, so I'll have to get a slot where I can attend the other courses. And I think you have done a very good job, and we like to join your guild and come forward as a team.
Excellent,
Not
sir.
only leading India, but the whole world.
Excellent, sir. That is what our vision is.
Yes, I'm in it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And
Thank you.
We need people like you to mentor us. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Okay, the last question from any of the lady attendants. Let me see.
It's from Nigeria, I think.
Oh, George is not from Nigeria. He's from Cochin. Okay, let me go into the gallery view. As I said yesterday, and I always say, I will never talk about women empowerment. They are much too powerful already. Yes, but I do believe in women encouragement. So if there is any lady participant still here, let me see. I can see Miss Tejaswini Bhanu. Would you like to say something, Miss Tejaswini?
I think Nomi Rivari is here. I think she would like to say something.
Okay, please go ahead.
I just wanted to say fantastic job to the full team. I think, the collaborative learning which we are demonstrating, you really are showing through role modeling, which is what it's all about. So just to have so many people together and, an open agenda for sharing knowledge, fantastic job.
Thank you, Naomi. Thank you. It means a lot coming from you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we need to thank Karan Cheda. Sorry, I missed you out, but I think behind the scenes, you are the man bringing everything to limelight. I think the last 20 years, I think whatever we are, I think Marex has brought in. So sorry, I missed you out during my stay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Sanjeev.
do we
Thank
have
you for
anybody else? Purnima Kumar? Purnima Kumar, would you like to unmute and say something? No. Okay. So don't tell me afterwards that you don't encourage women, huh? Okay, with this, let's break for a Sunday beer and lunch. Thank you, gentlemen. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. Be safe. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Be safe. Bye.
bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.